Get ready.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody in Twitch land? How we doing? Oh, I just realised I have no background at all. Can't be having that, can we? What shall we go for tonight? Well, we're not going to go for that. That looks shite. We will have the standard Star Trek. There we go. That's a lot better. Right, let's get talking to Darren. He is waiting for me. We do have some other guests coming on, Stunty and Alex, Nintendo Arcade. Alex having a few issues getting his Discord to load, so just give me a moment. What up, home?
Fair enough. I saw it was like a camper down the coast day sort of a thing. Or...
It was Kent.
Hello.
Hello.
How do you do, mate?
Yeah, I've just been talking to Alex. He's having some issues getting his Discord sorted. You know what these old people are like in technology.
Yeah, they should be shot, really, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, when you get to 50, that's it.
Nubensteins.
All these younguns today, they all know it all.
Yeah. Fun. Not all of them.
No.
So, yeah, so we'll just wait for Alex. I might have to ring him, actually, because he just messaged me on WhatsApp and was like, oh, my password, it's not letting me, because he couldn't remember his password, and I was trying to do a password reset, and then he said it wasn't doing something.
That's why I always find it easier to do it through my phone, because then it's just constantly logged in on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like all the different things.
Yeah.
Discord, WhatsApp, etc.
Yeah. So I'm just going to mute myself. I'm just going to give him a quick call. So I'll be back in a moment, okay?
No, as I was saying, it was I went to Kent. A friend of ours has got a field. Well, a friend of ours that we've known, all of our mates. One of the guys, he lives up. His neighbour has got owns a load of fields, but he doesn't live there anymore. But as in, he owned all the land, owned all the buildings. He sold all the buildings off, but he kept the land. So, are you there?
Yeah, still here.
All right. So I didn't, and yeah, basically what he done is he just said that we could use one of the fields for camping. So what we do is we just go down to this field. It's right in the middle of nowhere, so no one knows you're there. There's no roads near it, as in it's just one little country lane that's a private road as well. Goes up to this little estate. We put the vans and all the tent and the rest of it all in the corner, and we can play music late at night and make a lot of noise and don't be disturbed. Yeah, it's great. Good. We've been doing it for 3 years because we only started doing it because of the COVID, because we couldn't go to Santa Pod, so we ended up doing this. But now we made it a traditional that we do one in May and then we do Santa Pod in August, July. So, but it was good. I took my CD decks along as well because I haven't used them for fucking years, and they were in the loft.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, dragged them along. Mate fired up his generator and had a play on them. On Friday.
It's a bugger that generators are pretty damn noisy, isn't they?
This one's all right actually, but yeah, over the years the Jennies we have had have been pretty bad, but this one's not bad actually. I mean, to be honest, I'd love to have an electric Jenny, but I mean they're still quite expensive.
Okay, he's online.
More people on it.
He's online. I'm just getting him to join the server. Fucking hell.
Piece by piece.
Yeah. Okay, he's in the server.
Oh, mate.
Oh, this is why he should get a bit more organised beforehand.
Yeah.
It sometimes happens, isn't it? You always expect technology to be reasonably easy, but
yeah,
generally has its downfalls every now and again.
And electric batteries. Really bizarre. So there's a guy at the car boot the other week, and he took the piss. The cheeky fuck. I've dealt with him before, right? So basically someone was selling an old stereo, like an old ghetto blaster. And the bloke said to me, he said, you can test it if you want. So and he chucked a bag at me. Well, he didn't chuck it, but he gave me a bag, and I looked in there, and it was all power leads and the rest of it. So I pulled the power lead out and plugged it into it. He said, "You not tested it yet?" And I went, "No." He said, "How am I supposed to test it?" He goes, "Well, there's a battery in there." I said, "Where?" So I looked in the bag, and and all I saw was, like an extension lead that's got like 4 plug sockets on it.
Yeah.
And basically it was that, but it was 8 of them, but it was quite heavy. And when I looked at it properly, it was actually it had battery to it. So all you've done is just plug it into it, and then it's actually it's powered. So I can
I'll be
plug the
back in a
steering.
sec, guys.
Yeah. No.
But I'm trying to look it up. Yeah, and the bloke said, "Carl, you're pretty simple, aren't you?" He goes to me. I goes, "Oh, you cheeky fuck." I said, "I didn't know that this was actually a battery charger." Goes to him. But I'm trying to look them up on the internet. I can't find them anywhere. I didn't even know they did them like that. I mean, I know you can get the ones you plug into your phone and charge your phone, but not actually like a 4-way extension lead, and it actually has power to it, and it's not plugged into anything else. You just plug it in at home, into the mains to charge it, and then you can just use it during the day. God knows where he got that from. Yeah, you're amazed at some of the characters I meet during
I
the
was
day.
I was noticing. I was speaking to someone earlier, and I was sort of saying, like, isn't there, like, obviously because the football last day of the season today, wasn't it, for a lot of people?
Yes,
So
yes.
that was all going on, and I was like, no one's really talking about a World Cup, and I'm sure there's like a World Cup or a Euros like every off
It's
2 years.
Yeah, it's not till
And
December
then
this year, though.
yeah, and I looked, and it's like in November. I'm like, that's going to
Mm.
create so much havoc amongst teams, where like
Yeah,
half
yeah,
their players are all off like in Qatar.
yeah. Because normally it'd be now. Well, not now, but sort of beginning of June, isn't it? So you're muted, Alex, as well.
Like Webby's probably speaking to him in a phone
Yeah.
conversation to try and sort it out.
Fucking old people, eh? Who have them? Oh, I was going to do something today. I need to turn the PlayStation on, if I can. Beep. Is it plugged in?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, bloody nightmare. These
Oh.
nubs.
Where's he gone now?
So, basically, he was doing it on his laptop. Oh, but I said to him, "Have you got a headset?" And he said, "No." And I was like, "Well, it's going to sound awful on your laptop. Just the laptop mic and us coming through the speakers. It's going to echo." So now
Yeah.
he's loading it up on his phone, but he's just going to be using his phone because he hasn't got a headset. I'm sure he's used a headset before.
It does generally work reasonably all right. You're just using it as a phone.
Yeah. Oh, it's just my assumptions. Most people have headsets who are gamers. You know what I mean?
He's not. He's old school gamer. He's not.
Yeah, he doesn't talk to people online, does he?
No, no. He's old school.
Yeah. Old school, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm almost ready to go. I'm sure he'll join in a moment. Oh, nice to have you back, Stunty.
Yeah, I haven't played much. I must admit, I'm going to be really short, but I've got other things I can talk about.
That's good, man. It's good. It's fine. It's no problem.
Yeah, it's definitely good because I've played virtually nothing really this week. Different.
That's right. I'll pull us through. I've played about 20 games. It's fine.
Fair enough. Did you try out Vampire Survivor?
Yeah, I actually bought it and then I refunded it because the day after I bought it went on to Game Pass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you should have given them a couple of quid. Like, it's literally just a couple of quid, isn't it?
No,
I
they
guess.
bought
But
Bubble on the PS4.
Oh, I might have to ring him again because he's trying to ring me on Discord. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
Message
now.
him. Right, Discord. I just want to show him. I'm going to take a picture of my disc because it's not hard to use.
I'm going to download that. Whereas I download.
Fucking hell, retro adverts.
I'm looking on the retro store at the moment on PlayStation because they've got all retro stuff for sale on offer. The trouble
Probably
is,
because they're about to drop half of it on their Plus service or whatever. So they
yeah, it could
grab
be.
a little bit more
Yeah,
just before. Have you heard, Dave? Apparently, they're getting trophy support.
yeah, I saw that the other day. Yeah, that'd probably. The thing is, for some of the games, they're going to have to give you a trophy for just playing the fucking thing because some of the games are probably going to be awful to play. I mean, you think even stuff like Siphon Fields.
There he is. Alex, you there?
Hello. Oh, fuck me at last.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
these nub-nubs, eh?
Actually, yeah.
These nub-nubs. Can't work a bit of technology, eh?
You've let
Oh,
the sign
gee.
down, Alex. I mean, you're supposed to. I know you're old like me, but you're not supposed to be that old. I mean, really.
How you doing, Paul?
Yeah,
How
good.
you
Thanks. You're right.
doing? Yeah, I'm good, buddy. I'm sweating like a pig in a sauna house.
How are you? Oh, okay, that's too much information.
It's a bit sweaty in here. How you all doing, guys?
Yeah, we're all good,
man.
mate.
Cheers.
Ready to go. We're ready to go. Let's give the fans what they want, shall we?
Okay. Yeah, let's do
What's
it.
the order?
We'll go Alex, then Stunty, then Darren.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay.
Alex, if you haven't listened for all you do is introduce yourself. Say hello, I'm Alex, and I'm super noob.
I'm a superhero. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yeah,
And
I'm ready.
And I'm gonna hit record. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 121 for Tuesday, the 24th of May, 2022. I'm your host, Mark Webb, Gamertag, Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby, 360G, and joining me on this very fine evening is...
Alex, Nintendo Arcade, bringing you everything arcade and retro.
It's number one Stuntmaster.
And Sensei Switch.
Wow, we've got a decent crew tonight. I mean, I know obviously we've lost Nick for a few weeks, and I was a little bit worried that it's just going to be me and Darren just holding down the fort, but we've got
So with the
Stunty.
listeners.
Well, yeah, but we've got Stunty, which is awesome. It's always to have Stunty back. It's great. And Alex, who hasn't been on in absolutely ages, our very own retro arcade collector. Hey, Nintendo
man,
Arcade.
years. It's been years, couple of years. I'm trying to think the last time I was on.
It's been
Yeah,
ages.
it must be at least 2-3 years, maybe more.
Yeah.
Been a
Yeah.
while.
I've
You
been
moved.
I'm still listening to it. It's just like it's been last 3 years for me. Have just been crazy, mate. You know,
Yeah,
I
I know you
moved.
had a big move.
I had a big move, then I broke my arm, snapped that in half,
Oh yeah,
and
'cause
then
you fell off your ladder, didn't you?
fell off my ladder getting a Mega Drive out of the loft. Can you believe it?
Oh,
Is that what it was?
It was, yeah.
oh no.
Probably thought
Well,
you
what it
fucking
was-
Nintendo owner. Fuck you.
My partner slipped her disc that day, and I was working in London, and she just could not move. And I said, "Well, I'm coming back." I literally drove all the way to London, and then literally drove all the way back, and she couldn't get out of bed. And I thought I'd just give her the space, and I thought I'd come down here in the games room, which wasn't
Yeah.
finished then at the
Yeah, we're going to
time.
give her one.
Whee.
Really filthies. And I thought I'll just sleep in here, you know, give us some space and that. But I thought I've got
Yeah.
nothing in here. I've got a CRT, but I had nothing to play. So I thought I'll go up in the loft and get the Mega Drive out because I hadn't unpacked anything. We'd only been here like a week. And I put the ladder up. It was an A-frame ladder, and I put it up the wrong way. I should have been leant against the wall, against the building, and it wasn't. And as I crawled out of the hatch with my Mega Drive, the thing just went right over, and I just went about 9
Oh,
foot.
fucking
Right.
hell.
What? And landed on
Yeah.
what?
Well, I landed on my
On his
elbow,
arm?
which
Oof.
snapped my humerus
Oh,
bone in
you
half.
Oh.
And were
And
you
as I
able
got
to?
up,
Yeah.
the thing just swung round like a puppet's arm.
Oh,
I
mate.
don't
Oh,
control
you give me
it
the
at all.
heebie-jeebies. Whoa.
Oh no, well it does. It gave me. I mean, I was in total shock. You know, the weirdest
Oh
thing
yeah, you would.
is you can't
Start feeling
control
ill.
your arm, but you can control your fingers. It was the weirdest sensation I've ever been
Oh,
through.
oh, that sounds
Anyway, moving on.
horrible.
Moving on.
Oh, I feel really
Good to be
grossed out, man.
Sorry, guys.
Were you? How were you able to? Did you have your phone on you to ring the hospital? You know, an
Well, that was
ambulance?
it because Nush was inside with her mum, and I couldn't get up. I thought I can't lay here any longer. I was already down for about 5 minutes. So I had to get up. So I managed to get myself up, carry my arm down the end of the garden. Then I literally was headbutting the window, saying I fucking broke my arm. And she called the ambulance. The ambulance man turned up and he said, "What do you move here for?" I'm like, "What the fuck's it to you, man? I've got a broken arm." Sort it out.
What?
Why,
That's
do you
random.
live in the middle of nowhere then?
We are a little bit. We are a little bit. It's a funny little place where we are, but it was just an odd thing to say when I'm sitting there,
Yeah.
white as a ghost, and
Yeah.
sweating buckets of water.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
It's like you just moved to Silent Hill or something.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, one
it
road
was-
in, it's like, I can't get out.
Population 5.
Well, anyway, I mean, cut a long story short, I mean, all through COVID, they wouldn't see me, and then fucking finally, I pushed them to operate because it wasn't healing.
Right.
9 months, my arm was in a sling. My muscles started to deteriorate,
Mm.
and I got
Wow.
them to operate, and they cut me open, put a massive bar in there with about 7, 8 screws, and it's still not great. I've only got about 40% mobility with it still. It's fucking crap, really.
Wow.
You know, and I haven't really been working much because of it. But
Oh, really? Right.
no, not really, mate. No, it's really it's done me in a little bit, really. You know, I was
Yeah,
quite a
you
strong
don't want
guy.
to obviously strain it, so you're probably worried about overexerting it as well. And
Yeah, it's just certain movements it won't do. It's like they cut through the tendons or done something there because the tendons are all out of sync, and I can feel it's just got no power. Literally,
Right.
all my power, that arm's gone.
Wow.
You know, it's like I can lift like bars. Like if you're moving your arm up and down, I can do that action. But if you say like you're trying to grab a box from its sides,
Yeah.
lifting a box up, I can't push against the box to lift it up. Do you know what I
Wow.
mean? It's like a robot
Yeah,
picking an object up. It just won't do it. It just slips out because I just can't do that pushing inwards action. It just won't have it. So, you know, I'm learning to live with it a bit. Just got to get on with it, haven't
has
you,
it
really, at the end
affected
of
your
the day?
gaming at all, or is it all
Nah,
right?
man. Fucking hell, I'm doing more gaming than ever.
Oh, right,
That's good.
That's reasonable then, because that would have been horrendous if it ruined that. Like,
Well, the only game I
Oh.
would say it did affect was Robotron, 'cause it was a twin stick shooter, and I found like the right stick. I used to yank that cab around really hard. Now I kind of tweak the sticks. You know, I play it differently than I used to. You know, and the only game I could play when I was still playing games with my arms snapped in half, I was playing Defender for like a whole year. Got really good at Defender. So I was playing that, but yeah, no. Other than that, man, I mean, been playing loads of Switch games. Got a PS4 since I last saw you. Been into all sorts of shit we're getting into.
Nice.
Yeah.
good.
You don't have the Red 10 anymore, do you?
No, mate, sold that.
What's the
Yeah,
Red
it's
10?
too much space up.
What's the Red
Well,
10?
because it was the two.
Well,
two.
It was a
go on,
Nintendo Versus system. Nintendo brought out a Versus system in the arcade, so you could play opposite each other. So you could play Balloon
Oh.
Fight against each
Oh, I
other.
remember playing Balloon Fight with you on that machine, actually.
Yeah, you came around my house
yeah.
to play it. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, you got rid of
The
it.
only
Okay.
reason I mentioned it is because Alex used to rip the shit out of it. You know, he used to be like fucking arm wrestling with it. So that's why.
Oh.
That's why I asked, have you still got that to play? But
Oh,
no, if you
wow.
sold it.
No, I sold it because it took the footprint of that was 4 cabs. You know,
Wow.
because once you've got a person either side of it, it's literally the space of 4 cabs.
I'd love to.
And I
get one of
thought, well, they're all NES games anyway. I can play them on the NES, so I got rid of it. And now I've got well, we can go through my collection a bit later, but I've got a nice collection.
We'll go
of
through it
cabs
now, man. Tell us about you because I've got a video up, one of your YouTube videos up at the moment where you're doing you're playing all the games on in your game room, and you look like you've got quite a few more arcade machines than you had before, and a few different ones as well now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm quite content with what I've got now. I think I've got a nice array of different cabs. I've got Super Hang-On, Sega's Super Hang-On, which is a fantastic game. I never thought I'd get into a driver, but that is a brilliant game, honestly. And I've restored that cab, and that looks like minty fresh
Is
now.
that like a standing up one with just the handlebars?
It's the standing up one,
Right.
which is easier to play than the sit down one.
Yeah.
So that's new. I've got an Asteroids Deluxe, which I found in a reclamation yard in Frome, and it turned out it belonged to the manager of Led Zeppelin.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
He gave it to his son for a birthday present.
Oh wow, that's
imagine
pretty
getting
awesome.
that for a birthday present.
That's pretty awesome.
And his son came into the shop, into the reclamation yard, and just sold it to them. And when someone gave me a tip off that it was down there, I drove down there. Yeah, and he told me the whole story. And I managed to get. I couldn't believe it. So I actually got hold of Warren Grant, who was Peter Grant's son, on Facebook, and messaged him, and he actually got back to me and confirmed. Yeah, it was. My dad bought it for me for my birthday.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, so I got actual confirmation, which was nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's nice. I've got Robotron, Defender. I've got Sky Skipper, obviously, Sheriff, Donkey Kong. I've got an MVS Lord's Vale with loads of MVS games now. I've been getting into
Lord's
the MVS.
Vale? What's a Lord's Vale then? Explain to us.
It basically looks like a jammer cab, but it's a dedicated MVS jammer cab, if you know what I mean.
So it's a Neo Geo cab.
Yes, a Neo Geo.
So that takes the big cartridges, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. So, at home you had the AES. In the arcade, you had the MVS Neo Geo. Okay. And I picked it up fairly cheap. And then my mate, I did a video, I don't know, last year, my mate Roger, and they bought a massive load of games, over 450 games.
Wow.
I thought you found a collection of, well, not you personally, but someone you knew found a load of them, didn't they?
Well, they brought a big collection in Europe, basically. They paid a lot of money for it, 10 grand or something, but they reckon they can double their money on it, and they already have, I think. There were some good games in there, and I brought, I don't know, probably about 15 off them, something like that, because they gave me a good deal.
See, the Neo Geo's the Neo Geo's a strange one, isn't it? Because it's a machine that I never had. I know Darren had a Neo Geo. However,
Darren, you're into Neo Geo, aren't you?
He is.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've had about 3 AESs over the years. I've still got the Neo Geo Gold, which is kind of like the dedicated handheld. I never did buy the ones that came out recently though. That you got, Webby, like the mini arcade barcade things.
No.
I'll tell you what I did get though recently, because Xeno Crisis.
Yeah.
It came out on the Mega Drive, didn't it? Came out on the Switch, came out on the PS4. We actually made an MVS cart and an AES cart for it as well, and I bought one of those, stuck it in the Lord's Vale. Fuck me, is that a hard game? It's just too hard.
It's really weird, Xeno Crisis, because when I saw your video on that, I was quite shocked that they'd actually made an MVS and AES cart for it, because I've actually got it on the PC. Yeah. I did message you, and I've also got the cartridge for the Evercade for it. It seems like it's come out on everything, which is absolutely nuts.
I mean, I wouldn't have brought it, but the guys were at the London Gaming Market. The guys, is it the Bitmap Brothers? I think made it.
Yeah.
They were stalling out at the London Gaming Market, and they said, "Look, they were going to email me, and they didn't." So I sent them a message, reminded them, and they said, "Yeah, we'll give you 30% off."
Oh, that's good.
So I got 30% off. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got it. But I mean, it was still an expensive cart.
Yeah.
I thought it would play better in a cab, and it doesn't really. Yeah, I think it's more of a twin stick shooter. It plays better on the Switch if you've got 2 analog sticks.
Yeah.
You know?
the other thing as well is I think on the Switch, as well, because I got it on the Evercade. Well, I did have. I don't know if I still got it. You can actually, if you die, you can go back again and carry on from a certain section.
You
Whereas
can,
probably on
yeah.
the AVS you can't. You've got to just start all the way
No.
back at the beginning, like old Mega Drive games were. You know, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, I don't mind hard arcade games, but it's just ridiculously hard. I just can't get past the first boss.
Yeah.
You know, it's just stupid. You know, you just don't feel like you're progressing at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
The thing I wanted to mention about the Neo Geo though is I don't know if I'm right on this because it's a system that I think is very interesting. Is it? Am I right in saying that the MVS carts run on the AES?
No.
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 Oh,
no.
I thought you could run
No.
the arcade carts on the home console. No.
No.
Someone has built. I think you
It's
can
a converter,
buy.
yeah.
There is a
Oh,
converter you
okay.
can get,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That plays both. And I've seen a few collectors have got it because MVS carts are cheaper than AES
Yes, right.
because
Yeah.
they don't come in the shop boxes with all the art and all stuff like that.
Yeah.
They just come in a shitty little cardboard box and you have to make your own artwork up.
Right.
Yeah, with a white label on the top.
Yeah,
basically,
yeah,
right, with the game name.
yeah. And I think just AES was more popular because it was home. But you know,
Yeah.
if you've got an arcade cab, MVS is the way to go because it's a lot cheaper.
Oh, yeah, you just switch
You know,
out the cartridges, and you can have like two or three cartridges plugged in at once on the board.
You can have. I've got a 4 slot. You can have up
Right.
to 6 slots. I've heard
Oh, okay.
the 6 slot can be a bit temperamental.
Right.
It doesn't always work. So I've just got a 4 slot in mine, and it just pulls out as a drawer at the front of the cab. You just pull the drawer out.
Yeah.
Saves you pulling the cab right out. And you just swap the carts around. And you just they're just like NES carts. You just
Yeah,
blow on
that's
them.
so
They don't
cool.
work. Blow on them, and they work. You
That's
know?
awesome.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. And I've got the 2 Jammer cabs as well. And I was starting to collect PCBs, but they're expensive, and it's finding people to fix them as well. So I've put 2 Retro Pies in them.
Oh, right. So
and they play all right.
Okay, can you just
Some of the
explain
games
to
don't work.
people who don't know what a jammer cab is? There's probably people listening that have no idea what that is.
So the classic arcade era is the 80s, early 80s, where you had dedicated machines for one game. Like you had Space Invaders and Pac-Man, okay? And then Jammer came in, which was a universal adapter, where it saves the operator a lot of money getting a new cabin. They could just swap the artwork over and just put a new game in.
Yeah.
So a Jammer cab was just a box, really, with a CRT in it. You might get a marquee over the top, and then you could just take the PCB out and put a new game in without changing the whole cab around. You know what I mean? So you could so it was just a universal adapter for a lot of the people like Namco and Taito and all the others, except Nintendo. They never used Jammer. They always had their own, but they got out of the arcades end of '85 anyway, so they weren't really in the game. But it was mainly for sort of Capcom and everybody else to sort of. Well, you do need some adapters. Some games you need an adapter, like you need a Capcom adapter or a Konami adapter for some games, but they will work in it.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So it's just a universal cab basically for PCBs, and it came in at a certain sort of towards the end of the '80s.
Right.
You'd see jam cabs everywhere in fish and chip shops, and less of the dedicateds because they were just going out of fashion really and too expensive to make.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Unless they had like unique control system, like you still get dedicated in arcades, don't you? But they're all pretty much gun games and stuff like that need their own cab, if you like.
Yeah. Okay, so what else have you got in your collection now then?
So I've done my arcade up, so got a nice space. I've got 11 cabs in here, and I've been slowly getting my SNES collection back again to where it was. But I'm sort of going for my top 100 Super Nintendo games.
And are you buying the American or the UK cartridges?
I don't collect PAL, so it's just Super Famicom and North American.
Okay.
Whatever's cheapest.
A reason for that?
Region.
Is there a reason
they run faster.
Okay.
They run faster than the PAL, and you get a bigger screen than the PAL. So and,
Okay.
and the music. So if you play Sonic on a PAL Mega Drive, the music's all out. Do you know what I mean?
That's
So
weird.
it's all slowed down. It's weird. I don't know how people play PAL games. I really don't.
The question to
Um,
ask you,
Nowadays,
Alex,
they're
Yeah.
back to normal. It was only in that era, really, that sort of like you used to get the differences.
mm.
do you
Yeah,
use
because the TVs were different. The TVs were different. That's all. Back then, now TVs are universal, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Mhm.
what were you saying,
do
Stunny?
you, yeah, I was going to say if you don't play the PAL SNES games, what console are you using? Are you using an American SNES then?
Yeah, I've got an American S1 chip SNES, and I've got a Super Famicom and a Super Famicom Junior.
So how do you get
Um,
away with the power supply issue then?
well, you get little power supplies that go in there. It's got to just put a UK plug
Is it?
on it. That's all. You can
Oh
buy
right, so it's not.
power supplies anywhere really.
No,
Pick
what
one
I'm
up for
saying,
10.
because it's the American ones. Is it the same as the UK? I mean, I haven't
No,
got.
no, it's a different power supply.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't mean that. No, I don't mean that. What I mean is on the UK SNES, the power supply is not actually in the unit, and it's just like it's just a normal DC.
yeah,
You know.
you just change that over. That's all.
Oh right,
Put a new,
okay. So basically, just
yeah,
change that over, and then you can get it to work on the
yeah. You
UK.
don't have to change. You don't have to change the innards or anything like that. You
Oh
just
right,
get a
okay.
different power supply. That's all. Yeah.
Right,
And normally when you
all right,
buy a American SNES or something like that, it comes with it anyway. Comes with the power supply. You know,
right,
just
okay,
plug it straight in. It's fine.
right. Right, okay. Yeah, because I just wondered. That's all. I mean, I haven't got an American SNES. I did have. I sold the bloody
No,
thing years ago.
people always ask why do I collect it because it's not what we had back in the day. Well, it was where I was when the
Mm,
Super Nintendo came out. It came out in Japan first. It came out in Japan a year
Mm.
before it came out in the UK. And
mm.
if you wanted to get Street Fighter, which we all knew was out there, you'd have to import it. And it was like £100 to get Street Fighter back in the day,
I know,
you
I
know.
did.
And the shop that I used to go in, they had all the American and Super Family. It was a real mixture. You know, you just didn't know what the guy had in one month to the other. So PAL, I don't hold any nostalgia to PAL at all. You know, in fact, the box art on the Japanese is better. Obviously, there's a language barrier on a lot of the RPGs, but a lot of the arcade games, which is what I'm into, you don't really need to read it. You know, it's just pretty straightforward what you got to do. Shoot shit.
Yeah,
Or
pretty
jump
much.
over
Yeah.
shit. And a lot of Japanese games have more to it, like Super Aleste has got, or Space Megaforce has got extra levels. There's a few games out there that are actually better. And you know, sometimes they're cheaper. They're a lot cheaper, so it makes sense, really. You get a faster game, a bigger picture, a cheaper game, better artwork. It just makes sense, you know. It just
Yeah, it's weird.
beats PAL hands down.
I remember one of my friends having a Super Nintendo, and his dad used to go to America a lot, but he had a European SNES, like a UK SNES, but he would get the American games, and there was like an adapter you'd put in the cartridge slot, so you'd have like the English
Yeah,
game in the back and the American game in the front,
that's
and it
it.
would like read off both of them to get the American one to load. Does that
Yeah,
sound?
yeah.
Yeah,
I've got one of those
yeah,
universal adapter because there is some PAL exclusives, like Sensible Soccer
right, yeah,
and Drop Zone was another game that only came out in PAL. Archie McLean's Drop Zone, which is quite a good game.
right.
So I've got a few PAL games in my collection, and I use that adapter that you're on about just to put in the back,
Okay,
which you
yeah,
can do. I mean, if you've got an American game, you can play it in a PAL machine. You
yeah,
just need that adapter,
yeah.
you know, and it'll work.
Well, in my opinion, I think the PAL SNES looks a lot better than the ugly American one. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, but you know, for me, it's always about the games
Yeah,
than the
no,
console.
yeah,
Yeah, I've got, you know, the Super Famicom's similar to the PAL
yeah,
Super Nintendo. Anyway, so I get that kind of. I've got the two of them set up already. I've always got the two of them set up.
Nice.
So I've got a couple of CRTs in here. They're going up in value. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
I
I've
know.
seen. Yeah.
they're
They
really
would
going.
do, yeah.
Do you remember when
Getting
you
rarer and
when you
rarer.
couldn't get rid of them for love nor money, and you had to
No.
dump them, and now they're like going for silly money because of all these retro collectors. You know, it's
That's it.
nuts.
If you've got one of the great tellies, like you've got yourself a Trinitron or something like that in fantastic nick, then
Yeah.
they are going to be highly sought after
Yeah.
The
eventually.
Trinitrons are the best, Darren. I tell you, I've had the B&Os, the MX 4000.
That's
And
what
I
I've
didn't
got.
like it. It's definitely duller than the Triniton.
What size
And
I
Trinitron
just
though?
remember the Trinitron like through Scott just having like this best picture, like
Yeah, but
It
what
is.
size? Well, what size is it? Like a 22?
20, I'd say well,
14-inch
21.
used to be like the classic go-to for me because obviously TVs back then went back a lot more than the screen size pretty much. So it was room that was 14
What about you,
inches. About
Stunty?
all I
You were
could have
saying
in my
20
room.
something.
Yeah, 21. I mean, I just picked up another one actually about a month ago. I picked up another CRT Sony. I had to go to Worthing to pick it up. It was 50 quid.
Oh, that's
So,
all right.
Do you know what
Yeah,
actually
bargain.
sickened me once?
Yeah.
When I was in America on one of my first visits, I saw a Sony Trinitron in America, full colour, Scott, and it was like 7 or 8 inch.
Wow, bloody,
Oh,
that's
right.
tiny.
Tiny. I was like, I just remember seeing it because they had like Sonic, one of the
Yeah.
Sonics on demo on it or something, and I was like, man, that looks fucking awesome. Because obviously, the smaller you make things, the crisper it looked back then, obviously, which
Yeah.
is why now we have these giant resolution TVs because the TVs are bigger.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my mates have got these PVMs, and they're
What's a
crazy money. They're
PVM?
800-900. Well, it's
They're
like a
monitor.
monitor that the TV companies used to use. So it's like a
Yeah.
top end
Oh,
monitor.
yeah,
but
yeah.
they'd look at the picture of what they were filming in their van outside. Do you know what I mean? You've seen it where they're filming.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And a lot of gamers use those, but it costs a lot of money to get them. Then you've got to get all the cables, which cost a lot of money. And my mate brought one over here. I said, you got to bring one over. I want to do a comparison with because I've got two 14-inch Sony Trinitrons and a 21-inch. I want to bring it over. We'll do a comparison. And honestly, you could not tell the difference.
Oh,
This
okay.
14-inch Sony Triniton, which I paid 10 quid for about 2-3
Wow.
years ago.
Wow.
It's got an amazing picture. And I read up on Sony. They had the patent for this type of telly, the Triniton, for up until 1996, and no one else could copy it.
Oh, wow.
And that's why they were dominating that whole era with their tellies for so long. They lost the patent in 1996, and then everyone could use it, obviously. So then all the other companies caught up and did the same. But there was something with the coil in the back of the tube they were doing that was different, and they patented it, so no one else could copy it, and that's why they dominated for so long.
Oh, wow.
You know.
I will say the only downside I ever noticed to the Triniton through Scott was occasionally, depending on the set, you'd get a shift. Like the image would slightly shift off the screen a little bit to the left, or it'd lean in the corner or something. Yeah, that's just a regular thing from them. Yeah, that was just one of the weird things I always thought. But for picture quality, like when I used to hook my Neo Geo up to it and stuff through that, I used to sort of like, because at the time I had King of Fighters 94 when it first came out, and Fatal Fury 2 I think was one of the first Neo games I had as well. I had it on the PAL system, but obviously the games, regardless of country, will just work on any system, and it will convert and change the language to said version of the game.
Right.
So I took that up to my mate's house who had the American one, and he stuck it on his Triniton, and I was just like, oh my God, this looks absolutely amazing, because obviously I was still using, like, I think I was even being a proper bastard. I don't even know if I was using SCART or not with it. And it ran so much faster as well. Like, I really noticed the difference on a lot of the characters' moves.
I don't think
like, what the hell?
I read somewhere that Americans never had SCART. They just had the three colours, you know, that you plugged in, the red, yellow, and whatever the other
SVHS.
RGB.
Yeah.
Composite.
My that was the best picture I could get out of like I think my Dreamcast at one point
'Cause I think
when that came
Scar-
out. There was a couple of games that only worked through SVHS. They wouldn't work through
Right.
Scar.
Because I think Scar actually
One of
produced a
which
better
was
picture,
Alpha.
right?
It
Yeah.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best picture you can get. Well, you want to get things RGB modded, like your Famicoms and your NES. They're not RGB. You have to get them modded,
Right.
which I've had my Famicom Twin modded, and the picture on that now is amazing. You know,
It's funny with the Sonys because you always knew when you turned the Sony on because they made their big boom noise. If anyone knows where they're supposed to, it's to demagnetize. That's what it does.
Yeah.
It actually
Oh,
demagnetises
right.
the telly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, because I used to work in the TV industry,
Okay.
in that side, I never actually repaired them to going down to component level, but I knew a lot about them. But a lot of people used to get. I don't know if you remember, but on the old TVs, used to go to someone's house and they used to have like a red mark in the corner or a green in the corner. And basically, someone's put something that's magnetized, like a speaker, next to the actual TV.
Oh yeah, you'd bleach the colour out of your
No.
TV, you'd fuck the tube. Yeah.
Yeah. You could bleach the colour out of the tube. So what happened is you used to on the Sonys they had a thing. It was called a demagnetizer. So when it turned on, that's the degauser. That's the word I want.
Yeah.
But you could actually buy. I had a demagnetizer, which is basically it's a. I don't know.
It's like a wand, magic wand.
Yeah, it's like a wand, and you move in. You start at very close to telly, and you move outwards in a circle action, and it actually removes the. I used to use them. It used to be funny. Customers used to think, "What the fuck is he doing?"
Well, I have to do that a lot. I have to do that a lot, Paul, because when you move the cabs around, they've all got the old CRT monitors in. They all need degousing. Sometimes you've got a degauser button in the arcade machine. You just press it. It does it automatically.
Oh, weird.
Or if you've moved it, the polarity of the world, you've got north and south, actually makes a difference. So if I move these cabs on the other side, the picture might be slightly different than they are on the other side of the room. And it's just the polarity of the magnetising of the Earth that changes.
Do you have a wand? Do you have a wand then, do you?
I do have a wand, mate, yeah.
The first Trinitron I actually owned was the one I bought off my friend, and that actually came with external speakers I had to plug in because he'd actually removed the internal speaker because it was starting to affect the screen.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
On it because there was I had the older one. It was a very squared off type, and then they started bringing out the curved ones.
If you look in the back, it's got like a metal plate around the neck of the tube, and that is supposed to stop any interference from magnetising and anything else that sits next to it. If it hasn't got that in there, you're going to have a lot of trouble with your telly,
That's just technology, isn't it? Back then, it was like lots of things. It's like you never put tapes on top of the telly, even though people did. You weren't supposed to because it could fuck the tape up.
Well, mate, as a kid, I used to put cheese in the back. Now, you're going to think, what the fuck? My mum used to make me eat cheese, and to this day, I fucking hate cheese. I hate it.
Yeah,
and I remember she said, "Look, if you don't eat your cheese up, you're not getting in trifle." Right? So I got all the cheese and I stuck it in the back of the telly in the grids at the top. I stuffed it all in the back of the telly. No, it all melted. And then, of course, the TV blew up. And then back then, you called a TV repairman. He came round, he opened it back up, and he said, "What's all this cheese doing here?"
Oh, God.
Brilliant.
Thing is, TVs back then weren't great anyway. I mean, I remember our first telly that we rented from one of the rental shops, Ketts, that was it, the company. They were a company down south called rival to Granada and Radio Rentals.
Oh, Radio Rentals. Did you remember going around people's houses and they used to have the coin TVs?
Yeah.
And, like,
No,
on
I'm not that old.
And we'd be sitting there, like, drinking, like, round your mate's house, and then it'd be like, you'd be sitting there watching the telly, and it'd be like, boom. He's like, has anyone got any money?
Yeah,
I used to work on the telly. You're like, what?
Yeah, I used to install them for a little bit. I used to do the
TVs. Yeah,
Blake
used to come out and collect the money and stuff. Yeah.
It's amazing how much we've moved on in such a small space of time. Technology, isn't it? Really, incredible.
Only in technology. Like when you're looking at like the passing of time, as in like different eras of like say the 1880s to the 1920s to the to
Yeah,
the
it was a
60s.
gap, long
Like there's
period.
big
Yeah,
jumps of like actual
Yeah.
human evolution. You can see it.
yeah,
But I'd say since 1990, I'm not
Yeah.
really seeing much difference
no,
No, yeah,
No.
compared
like,
not
in
not
that
in other
sort of
things like
aesthetic. But
yeah.
it's just more technological level, like mobiles and things like
and
that, the
games
internet.
really, games. Although we've moved a long way graphically, we're still doing the same thing. We're still shooting aliens and fucking jumping platforms and whatnot, aren't we? We're still doing the same thing.
Yeah, we're still using the
Um,
controller. We're not using just our hands
Yeah,
anymore. Yeah. I
no,
mean, you could do. You could just.
Well, you
I have a
will start
controller.
getting that. I mean, Connect was going in that direction. It was just I don't think the technology is really fully there yet.
Well,
And
they
the
did
No.
same, and the same with VR.
Microsoft did their usual, moved on, didn't they? They just
Yeah.
dumped it, didn't they? So,
Yeah,
which is a shame, really, because I thought Connect was really good. I mean, I had some
Yeah.
quite good experiences with my daughter as well growing up. I mean, she played some really great games like Monster. There was a Monster game, Once Upon a Monster. Oh man, she
Yeah.
loved that game. It was really great, but I don't know.
yeah,
One of those things, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, anyway,
But yeah, sorry, going back to what I was talking about the telly. Yeah, you going about the cheese in the back of the telly. I remember one of our tellies. I was sitting watching telly when I was really young, and the TV caught fire.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah, because the
Like
TVs
dust
back
or
in the
something.
yeah, well,
Oh.
this was probably late 70s, probably about 78, 79. I mean, I just remember it just caught fire and used to get the guy come round and he goes, oh, yeah, we'll have to get you another one.
Oh.
And then you get another telly. Yeah, because they could never fix them because they were quite common
Well,
late
not
70s,
after they've
early
caught
80s.
fire, no.
Well, yeah. So, and then I remember our first ever video record. It was like a big old monster with the big old eject on the top, and it was like this, like a lift.
Remote
open
control
up
on a wire.
yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, we had the Sony, the C5, and that had a remote with it on a wire. You know, it was quite
Yeah.
foreign back then. The old Betamax stuff was. My dad loved Betamax. He was a massive Sony fan. He was.
Yeah.
because
Back the wrong
he had
horse.
Well, yeah, but it was always a better picture on the Betamax compared to VHS. Still is.
Yeah, and
It's,
then Sony got its revenge, I suppose, with
Yeah, but VHS only
Blu-ray.
won out because of porn.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's the same with
yeah, yeah.
Blu-ray. I think it's whichever porn goes for is generally
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, HD DVD
the
didn't
scope.
work. did it?
Talking of porn, I had a mate of mine. He found an old
Wank neck.
Space Invaders cab, right? And you listen, this is going somewhere. And it was just unbelievable. It was like, this is just so 80s, because on the bezel someone had inscribed UB40 are cunts. There were flag burns all over the control panel where people had stuck their cigarettes
Oh,
while they were playing the game. And in the back, you opened the back up, and there was a stash of porno mags at the bottom.
Brilliant.
I said to him, you've got to leave it like that. You can't
That's
just
a time
throw
cap
it.
to do that.
I'm not leaving it like that. It's got to come in the house.
Oh,
I
It's unbelievable.
I've got a little story actually. Just I'm going to have to bring this up while we're on this subject. I picked up a load of videotapes the other week, and there was a big bunch of porn videotapes in there. So there was stuff like big boobs and stuff like that. Now I forgot. I was working in the garage and I had my camper van out, and I forgot the videotapes were in the garage. My neighbour came round and walked through the garage, and he must have seen them sitting there in a pile, big boobs, big birds, and the rest of it. And then
Dear.
after he left, I told the missus, "Oh God, I just realised he walked through the bloody garage twice, and the videotapes they're on show. They weren't supposed to be there. They were just left there because they were originally on top of the van, just so they were out of the way. Because I've got to go through them and dump them, whatever I'm going to do with them." And she goes, "Oh, he probably thinks you're a right perv."
Well, he's not wrong though, is he?
Oh dear.
Oh, dear.
Well,
Don't see them anymore.
well, so one of the things, but
I've
before
got
the
a load at
days
my
of
house
the
you can have.
But before the days of the internet, it was always a good day when you found a stash of porno mags in the woods.
Yeah, it was always on. It was always at the edge of a golf course, wasn't it? And
Yeah. Well, we used to when we were really young, where I lived, we used to go across. Well, we used to have to go underneath a railway bridge. There was like a tunnel, and that take you into the golf course. And we used to build like dens, proper dens, huts. And I remember we built one of these dens on the golf course. And the other thing is, used to go to the golf course, run across, grab the ball, and then run off. And then used to sell them back to the golfers. Not the same day, I must admit. And I remember many a times used to go down to the den, and someone had been down there that we didn't know who it was, and they left a load of porno mags in there. It was just a common occurrence down there. You used to just all of you sitting there, you're all about 14. Just, yeah, look at this one, eh? Yeah. And then it always used to come on, and you never really pay much attention that why were the pages stuck together?
Why were the pages scattered about? Like,
Yeah.
If you found them in the woods or whatever, you'd be like, did
That's
someone just come and rip it apart like Hulk or something?
They probably pinned them on the trees so you could get an all-round 360 look at all the pages.
Yeah, but I don't know. Things back in the day, the kids today will never enjoy.
Well, that's it, mate. Yeah,
That's just easy
Bizarre,
access
isn't
on
it?
the phones now, isn't it?
yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to games. So, have we missed out on any of your arcade cabs there, Alex?
No, that's it. I think we've mentioned them all, haven't we? It's all there. Yeah.
That's pretty decent, man.
Yeah,
I mean, your new game room is looking really nice, actually. As I say, I've seen the
you have to
videos.
pop over, mate.
I will do, mate. Yeah, will do. It'll be a good time, I think.
Yeah. Well, what I might do is do a little mini meet, so invite all of you over. All come down, do a
Well,
barbecue or
whereabouts you
something.
living now?
I'm in between Oxford and Swindon.
No, you're not.
It's a place called Farringdon.
Right, okay.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Unless it's just because there's a place in London called Farringdon Lane, which there may
Yeah.
well be, and that's what I'm
There
getting
is.
confused with. Yeah.
That's double R. This is one R, Farringdon. It's not. I'm in the countryside. I'm right near the sort of White Horse Valley, which is like where the Ridgeway is, one of the oldest footpaths in Britain. I was up there today, actually, just having a nice walk, and yeah, it's lovely. It is lovely.
So the question to ask: have you been to the car boots up that way?
I was going to go this morning, Paul, and the van wasn't working right. I don't know, something wrong with the injectors. It was struggling. The power kept dropping in and out. So I thought I can't risk it. But yeah, I was going to go this morning, mate. There's two. There's one at Abingdon. And there's another one close to it at Whitney as well.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't been for years, mate. But I wanted to go this morning. Funny enough, you say that.
Be interested to see what it's like, because I've noticed that even where I live now is different to when I used to do Guildford and stuff. Because I mean, Guildford was ruthless.
Yeah.
But it's still ruthless down here, but it's not as. It's not got the London people here. It's not as bad.
Yeah.
But I have noticed more people are hunting. I mean, the Nintendo stuff now. Everyone knows the Nintendo stuff now. So if someone puts a Nintendo game on the table of any variety of, it's just gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
Those days have gone where you just walk around a car boot and you see Nintendo 64 games. It doesn't happen. You don't even see Wii games, and if they're on the table, someone just buys the lot, even if they're shit.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Well, when we were doing it, Paul, they were the last good days, I reckon, of car boots. And then when it started getting, remember those two twins that used to turn up with walkie-talkies, and they'd make out that they were selling. So they'd make out they were selling, so they'd get in there before the buyers, and then they'd drive their car in as if they were about to sell, and they didn't open up the car. They'd walk around the whole car boot before anyone got in there. One at one end and one at the other with walkie-talkies, and both of them let know the other where the games were, and it just got too competitive, too argy-bargy, and I just thought, I don't come out on a Sunday morning to do this. I really don't. And you were struggling to get games as it was, let alone fucking start getting in a fight with someone.
Yeah.
And now I just can't. I go not just to pick up games, I just to go for a walk round and get out of the house in the morning, really. If I find something, it's a bonus. If I don't, I've got up and had a bit of exercise. That's the way I see it. But
Yeah, I mean,
most of the games now, I just find on eBay. You know, I get lucky on eBay. I've had some bargains on there recently. You know, but yeah, it's just a lot different now.
Yeah, you do get the odd thing now and again. I mean, I got not last weekend, the weekend before, I got a Vita for
Oh, did
20
you?
quid.
Nice.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a good. That's a good
Wow.
price.
Yeah,
That's a bargain.
really
Is it
bizarre.
Gen 1 or the
Yeah,
second
Gen 1. It's
one?
it's no LED.
Oh, the OLED. It's the
Yeah,
OLED.
it's
wow.
OLED. Yeah, the bizarre thing is the guy. I've dealt with this guy over the years. He's a dealer. I've had a few
Yeah.
bits off him over the years. I got a. What have I had off him recently? I had a Commodore +4 off him for a tenner. I got one of them off him. So he's quite cheap on certain stuff. And then he sort of realises what some stuff's like. He had a
Yeah.
ZX80 the other week and he was like, how much is that? He goes, oh, it's 150. I was like, fucking hell. And then I looked it up
Yeah.
on eBay and they are about £400 ZX80s.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
So it's still cheap anyway, but I'm not paying £150 for a ZX80.
No. Well, you're like my next pickup, Paul, because, well, someone else picked it up for me. I don't know if you watch Tootie UK on YouTube.
Yeah, I watched Tootie, yeah.
He's got a massive collection, isn't he? Absolutely huge. And he does the car boots, always does the car boots. And he went to CEX last week and messaged me. He said, Alex, there's free Game & Watches in here.
Bloody
and I thought,
hell.
yeah, they're going to be expensive. And he said, yeah, but these are mint. And
wow.
it worked out they were 120 quid each, right? And there was 4 of them. And I said, well, just send me the pictures. I want to see what the pictures are like first. So he sent me a load of pictures and they were fucking mint, honestly. And for 120 quid, I said, just get the lot. Just buy the whole lot. I'll flip 2 of them and I'll keep the other because I'm trying to get a little Donkey Kong Game & Watch collection going on. I'm not going to collect any more because it's so expensive. But he got Gold Cliff out of there, Safe Busters, Donkey Kong 2, and the original Donkey Kong. All boxed with the manuals and the baggies in amazing condition, 120 quid each. You go on eBay, they're 3 times that. So
I found 4 in the last 3 weeks now, don't you?
Yeah, I heard your podcast. Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, well, I found one this week in a charity shop.
Oh, blinding!
Yeah,
That's
I found
awesome.
Parachute.
Oh yeah, I remember Parachute. That was the one I had back in the day.
Yeah, I got it for 20 quid in a charity shop, and I thought, well, all right, it's 20 quid, but it's still. I looked them on eBay; they're about £80 now.
Yeah,
but that's for me. I'll keep that because I've got quite a lot of the. To be honest, I'm not really sure which ones I don't have now because I've got apart from the real rare ones like the crystal ones. But yeah,
I nearly had a complete collection about 10 years ago. I was collecting them, but I sold them all. I mean, God, what I thought was a lot back then, like tripled since then. But, at the time, I thought I did well out of them, and it bought me a cab at the time, so I was happy. But I wouldn't get into collecting them now, especially not boxed, too expensive.
Going back to the Vita thing though, which was really bizarre. Before we move on, is basically the guy I deal with all the time, and I was actually looking at on the floor. He just had some video games on the floor, and I picked up. It was actually really bizarre. There was an Atari game, DS game, Atari game. It had all like Centipede and stuff like that, and I was looking at that. And I thought, ooh, I didn't know they did this on the DS, and I picked that up, and he said, "I'll cut the quid for that." So I thought, "Wow, great!" And then as I looked up, there was an Indian guy next to me, and he was zipping something open. I thought, what the fuck's that he's got in that there? And it was a Vita. I was like, oh my God, he's just picked up a Vita. And he got it out and he was having a look at it all and the rest of it. And he was like, and then he put his finger on the screen, like there was a mark on the screen and stuff. And he goes, well, how much is that? He goes, oh, it's 18 quid. I was like, and then I thought, oh my God, he's getting a Vita for 18 fucking quid. And he zipped it back up and put it back on the table and walked off.
Oh,
wow. Straight in there, grabbed it, opened it up, quickly looked at it just to see if it was cracked or, because I didn't care if it didn't work because they're worth 50 quid unworking now, Vitas.
Wow.
And he said, 18 quid. So I took it. It was only when I got home I actually realised it actually had 3 cartridges with it as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it had Assassin's Creed, which I already own, so I'll probably flog that on. And
Liberation, is it?
Yeah, Liberation. It had Call of Duty game, which I haven't actually got that one. And then the other game, can't remember what the other game was, which I already owned anyway. And it also even had a memory card with it
Oh, nice.
inside. It had a 16 gig.
Bloody hell!
Yeah, the 16 gig. Yeah, the 16. It is a 16 gig. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
You
I
wouldn't
think-
have even been able to pick up the memory card for that price back then. Like,
No. So the only thing I did when I got home is I was going to flog it on, but the trouble is I know what I'm like. I'm terrible. I fired it up, and it actually had games all installed on it as well.
Oh, nice.
But that's on someone's profile. But the problem
Yeah.
is their games I've already got. There was like Killzone and stuff like that. So what I've done is I fired it up, as in because I've got loads of power leads of my own. Tested it, works fine. The only problem is though, is I think the battery's better than my own ones, so I might actually end up keeping it. So now I've got 4 of them now.
Bloody hell.
That's what worries
Yeah,
me
if
when you
you-
sell something on like a Switch or everything,
Mm.
and you haven't reset it. Can someone just go into your account then because your profile's still on the Switch?
Yeah, that's why
or
you should
DS
always
or whatever?
factory.
Yeah,
You should
I
always factory
always
reset, mate. Yeah.
yeah, I'll do that before.
They
I
can go
sell
in
it.
and buy more games, can't they?
No,
Basically,
because they will need a well, unless you've put it password unlocked, then yes, they could.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, I picked up a Wii the other week, and that had someone's profile and a load of games on it. But I did notice they put a parent lock on it, which on the Wii's is actually quite good to get rid of the parent lock because it's quite easy.
Yeah.
You can just generate a code. But I did actually pick up a Wii U the other week as well. And that had a parent lock on it as well. And I couldn't get rid of the fucking parent lock, so I've had to
I
just
sold all my Wii U stuff.
you're mad because that stuff's going to go crazy money in a few years.
I know, but I
It
just
already
don't-
is. Yeah,
I
it
know
already
there's a
starts
lot
to
of
creep up.
collectors out there collecting it, trying to get complete collections, but I just not. I don't collect for the sake of collecting, though, Paul.
No, I know you don't.
Do you know what I mean? I don't. I like the game because I don't have a lot of room. I might have a big arcade here. You might say, yeah, he's got shitloads of room, but I don't for a lot of console games. So I have to be quite selective of what games I have. And they're usually the
Yeah.
games that I go back to and play. They're the ones because I am a
Yeah.
player. I do like to play as well as collect.
He's a player.
But I mean, I am the
Yeah.
same. I am the same as you. I do collect to play, but I do also collect certain stuff which I know I mean, because I do a lot of cards, I do keep stuff and
For
hoard it.
investment down the line.
Yeah, investment. I mean, there's stuff like Finding Teddy. I mean, that game I bought for 20 quid. We're up to 200 quid on that now because it's sealed.
Wow, that's insane.
Well, I can't believe I sold Shantae Pirate's Curse on the 3DS, I don't know, 2 years ago for about a tenner. And that
Was it a
now...
limited run?
No, not on the 3DS it wasn't, but on
Oh.
the Switch it is. And now on the
Yeah.
Switch it goes for about 400.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. And on the DS, 3DS, it goes for about 120, 150.
Wow, that's
Fucking
insane.
mad.
It's just certain stuff's gone crazy. I mean, I'm still after. I had a copy and I sold it as a fucking idiot. I had Fire Emblem on the GameCube, and I sold that for 60 quid. I regret to this day selling that because that's a £200 game now.
Wow.
It's
Really?
like,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's annoying because there's certain stuff that you want to collect to play. I mean, I want to play the Fire Emblem game. I'm not buying it for an investment. I'm buying it because I want to play it.
No.
But it's now got to stage on certain stuff that I'm going to have to either sell a load of stuff to pay for it, or I just won't ever play it. And that's probably what will
Yeah.
happen. I will just never
Or you
play
just
it unless
pirate it, and then it's the only way you can play it.
I don't know if you can do that on the GameCube. I don't know if there's a way of let's play it on PC, but it's not the same. You like to play it on the original hardware.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah.
What you're like, yeah.
I think having a lot of, because this question comes up a lot, people that have these huge collections and complete collections of stuff and of Wii U games and stuff. I find that a little bit overwhelming, or I would do personally. It's only me. I've got nothing against people going for complete collections and stuff. I think it's fun. But for me, having all those games that a lot of them are shit shovelware games, just for the sake of saying I've got a complete collection, I'd find that overwhelming.
But there's people on the Wii U that collect sealed games. They have a whole complete collection sealed. And they never
What's the
gonna play
point?
it. So
Yeah.
well, I mean, I've probably got a few PS4 games that are sealed, but it's only because I've bought them and I haven't played them yet. But anything that's sealed, I will not keep. I mean, I had a copy of Mafia I found on the PS2. Now, I didn't actually own that game, this is before they bought the remaster, and I thought, I really want to play that, but I thought I don't want to open that copy because that copy is worth a lot of money. So what did I do? I flopped it on and bought a copy on eBay for £3, and I sold that copy for £100 because it was sealed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the way to do it, isn't it? Really, but it's just
games are there to be played, man.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yeah.
agree. I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what they were made for. Even with like the cabs and stuff, people, I know collectors just keep it all hidden away, all locked up. I just went, what's the point? They were actually made to go in an arcade for people to play.
Yeah.
And if they're not there, that they should be at least in your home being played. I just don't see the point of it. They are social things that people played, part of our social history in the 80s. That's what we all did as kids. And that's why I like going to events like Revival. I take my cabs there and I love seeing people playing them. And when their eyes open up, God, I remember that when I was a kid. I haven't played that for 40 years, like, because I've been there. I know what it's like. It's an amazing feeling, you know.
I noticed that they're doing a lot more of these sort of retro cabs now, because I went to Comic Con it was in Portsmouth the other week, and I remember going there a couple of years ago now, all the Vectrex and all those kind of things, you know, game consoles, SNESes and stuff. This year they actually had no home computers, and all they had was these new retro cabs. And I'll be honest,
they're not the arcade one-up cabs, are they?
I don't know. They had stuff like Centipede, and there was Mortal Kombat.
Arcade one-ups. Mate.
Oh, they're awful quality.
They're not very good quality, are they?
It's cheap Chinese shit, and they're way overpriced. For, you know,
I don't know how much are they to buy.
They're like 600 quid. Yeah, 400 to 600.
Well, there's one in particular. Remember the original Star Wars Vector game that came out in the arcade? They made one of those. They are now selling on eBay for over £1,000.
That's silly.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
That's mental.
I mean, it's just crappy MDF with an LCD screening. But what makes it different than the others? It's got its unique controls. It's got that yoke controller.
Yeah.
You can't get anywhere else. So people still think that that's the nearest you're going to get to the arcade experience is owning that one-up cab. And that's why they've gone up through the roof. I just find it madness that it's just cheap MDF crap. You know.
But they had loads of this thing. They had probably about 16 of them.
They've got loads of different ones,
Yeah, they were all different. I mean, I ended up playing Centipede with my daughter. I mean, only because of the game, but it was with the roller wheel, so that was quite cool. I like that. But the actual graphics were a bit iffy, and I thought for what it is, I mean, on a CRT that would look really clear.
Yeah, it's because these are really shit LCD screens on those things.
I was trying to show my daughter how to play it because she got arsey. Don't know the way this moves because she's never used a roller wheel, is she? Because you think they've never, they just use controllers. They don't use a wheel. Sort of sort of mouse thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So is that your section done, Alex? Anything else you wanted to mention?
Yeah, that was a long section, but yeah.
Almost an hour. All right. So what about you, Stunny? You haven't been on for a while. I know you've not been playing much, but you've been doing a lot of car booting and various other things, right?
Well, yeah, but it's just that time of year. I've sort of lost my mojo a little bit on gaming at the moment. I haven't for old stuff, but even though I haven't really played much old stuff recently. But I don't know, just it's that time of year, just busy with other things. I watched the Batman film that you hated a while back.
Yeah.
Vengeance.
Yeah, I watched that.
I think I'm the only one who didn't like it. So,
I didn't think much of the villain in it. I don't think he was all that good.
I just didn't like the actor who played Batman. He just didn't seem like didn't look like a Batman to me. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell was the
what's
best
a Batman to
person
you then?
The Dark. I don't know. For me, it's really hard to beat like Batman Begins and that kind of trilogy. You know what I mean? Just those were my favourites.
Yeah.
No, I did enjoy the new Batman. I just thought the only thing that I thought was a little bit of a letdown was it was a bit too long. It was way over. It
it should have ended earlier. It didn't need to last, say, half hour or so.
But are you finding that I'm finding
on his plan, and that's it.
I'm finding this in general now with movies and TV shows. They just seem to be getting episodes, and movies in general just seem to be getting longer and longer, and it's just, oh, it's too much. Like, I've been watching quite a lot of old horror films this week,
Mm.
and the films are only and most of them are 80s, because I think the 80s is one of the best eras for horror films. And the films are like generally only about an hour and 20 minutes long. And I'm like, you get a lot of TV shows where one episode is that long now. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, it's just silly now. It really, really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, the trouble is a lot of TV series. I mean, they try and get their money's worth now. So it's like we were talking on a WhatsApp group. This like the Stranger Thing. It's like they're on season 4 now. It's like
Yeah.
I thought it's outstayed its welcome now. It's like
Yeah.
Cobra
Yeah.
Kai, another one. I watched the end of Ozark, and that whole last season should have just been deleted. Really. And it should
Oh,
have just
really? I've
finished.
not watched it yet.
Yeah, it's all right, but it's just it just drags.
Right.
And it's like a lot of things today. It's like they want to just get, let's just rinse everyone for a bit more money. Or well, you know what I mean?
Keep them
Get the
subscribed.
subscriptions going. Yeah, for another month. So
Well, I think the
But-
new Obi-Wan series is going to be very long episodes. There's only 6 episodes, but they're supposed to be really long ones, apparently.
Wow.
alright.
That's coming out next week, isn't it, I think?
Well,
Yeah.
we're saying about the Stranger Things, like each episode is about an hour and a half long, and the last episode is 2 hours 40 or something silly, which is redonkulous. You know, it's just like each episode's a movie, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. But yeah, going back to the Batman thing. So I ended
Yeah.
up watching the film, and then I sort of had a bit of a, I fancy playing Batman. So I ended up loading up Arkham City because I never played Arkham City.
Oh,
I only
great
played
game.
Arkham Asylum. Yeah, I had already played a little bit of Arkham City, so it's the usual. You start playing it and you walk around like a fucking idiot because you don't know what you're doing because you're like, I'm pushing the wrong buttons all the time, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, then you got to try and work out all your detective mode, and you've forgotten how to do it and the rest of it. And then I got stuck in the bloody Arkham Asylum. I couldn't get out because I didn't really know what I was doing because I was being an idiot. Because I didn't realise that you've got to use your special gun to open a gate, and then the gate goes up, and then you can get out. Oh, it's like I felt such a Neubenstein, you know. But once I got past that, yeah, I was really enjoying it. But then I ended up going down a dark hole of Batman games.
Ah,
So I then ended up playing Batman: The Enemy Within,
never even heard of
which is
this
a
one.
Telltale. Well, this is
Oh.
a Telltale. This is the second Telltale game. Now, the first one was called, I think it was just called Batman. This one is really hard to get now. It's been delisted. I don't know what it was. Maybe something to do with Telltale. They wouldn't pay because there's a few games on the Telltale that have been delisted, like the Back to the Future. The Guardians of the Galaxy game has been delisted because you can't get it. You can't even play that. I don't think unless you've bought it years ago.
Right.
And this was another one, Enemy Within. And it's quite good actually. It's not a bad story as a Telltale game goes. I got the disc, and then because if you get the disc, it then allows you to download all the. Because you only get one episode on the disc, but then if you
Woo!
Yeah, I
I
know.
remember just hearing that and being like, how the fuck can you just do that? That is
Yeah,
so
well,
stupid.
well, yeah, we thought that back then, but now this is the common now with all games today, isn't it? On certain platforms, that
Most of
there's
them,
nothing
yeah.
on it. Yeah, there's nothing on the disc anymore. It's just a key, isn't it?
Ugh,
But
yeah.
as I say, you were able to actually download the rest of the episodes, and it's quite a good story actually because it is to do with the Riddler. The whole first episode's to do with the Riddler, and it's like, and there's all these little puzzles and stuff like that. Yeah, it's good. I'm really enjoying it. It's quite cheap. It was only a tenner. It was actually, I bought it through CEX in the end. It was actually cheaper to buy in CEX than it was on eBay. I think CEX didn't really realise what it was worth, which is good. But yeah, that's it. That's all I've played is Batman games.
Wow.
I know, it's just I mean I've turned the PlayStation on today. I haven't been on the Switch for ages. I need to get on the Switch because there's stuff on there that I've bought that I've not even played. I bought that. What was it called? It's down here. On the floor, the Triangle Strategy. I haven't played that for ages. I haven't played Fire Emblem for ages. No, that's it.
Well, so
think-
let
I think-
can you tell everyone what you've done with your Series X, please, Paul?
Oh, it's in the loft. I think I'm gonna sell it. So I'm
You're
not using it.
nuts.
No, I'm not using it. I'm also not. Here we go. This is going. You're just such a fanboy.
Well,
I'm not
yeah.
a fan. I'm not a fan of Xbox and their DRM, and it's really pissed me off, the DRM on it, because it means I basically bought a console that's if you're not on the internet, you can't use it.
That's pretty much
That's
the
the
same as a PlayStation, though. To be fair.
No, you can play the PlayStation
No.
offline because I turned the PlayStation on the other day. You can't play. Right, this is the thing with the PlayStation. If it's a game you've bought online, you can't play it if you haven't done the update. But if you've bought the disc and you put the disc in, it will play.
Right.
On the Xbox, you can't play it at all. You have to be
Oh,
connected.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
interesting.
big. Listen to the Digital Foundry episode. They had a right old dig about it this week because it does this smart delivery on the Xbox.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what, and that's the situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got to a stage where it's like games. If I buy a game that's going to be an online only game, I'm not interested anymore. So I want something that I can play in 10 years'
It's
time.
got an expiration date. It's almost like, say, you look at a lot of other forms of media, sort of like films, music, etc.
Yeah.
You can always go and listen to it. You can
Yep.
always go and watch it. It's always there. But we're now entering the era of throwaway entertainment, where a lot of this entertainment is just going to just be gone, never to be played again.
Yeah, that is.
That's the case. Right? Yeah, I was going to say that's the case with Xbox. The Switch is a different ball game, isn't it? It's all
Yeah, I mean, it
physical
started
media.
all with mobile
Yeah.
games. Mobile games. That's basically, it gives the game a time limit.
That's why you've got
Eventually,
like
the
companies
game's going
like
to die or whatnot.
you got companies like Limited Run that last week opened a physical shop, their own physical shop in America to
Wow.
sell their own games.
That's insane.
And
That's
they
so
always
cool.
sell
All the
out of them
games that-
whenever they do a run as well,
Sorry,
pretty much.
Yeah,
I was going
they
to say,
do.
whenever they do a limited run of a game, it generally always sells out.
yeah. And when it sells out, what they're doing with this physical shop, they've got games that might have a little bit of corner damage that they can't send to people, so they're just putting them in this shop, and people queuing up around the block to get into this shop.
Oh, it's
I said to
mental.
my mate Whitney, you've got to get to this shop. I've got a list for you.
So cool.
There's a lot of games that you can't get now that have gone through the roof, like Shantae,
Yeah.
Pirate's Curse, and stuff like that. That they were
Yeah, I've
selling
got
in the shop for what they originally sold it for.
Yeah.
And people still want physical. They
Yeah.
still want physical stuff.
No, yeah, no, I understand that. And I understand that people still want physical. Completely get that. However, you know, times have moved on, and a lot of, you know, most of the younger people, including myself, actually, I buy most of my games digital, mainly because I game on the PC, and you can't buy physical games on the PC anyway. And for game preservation, I do understand that physical is king. I do get that, right? But one of the reasons why I have a PC is because, you know, I can download most of those games and play them anyway. There's a few websites that actually collate classic video games, and you can download them digital for free now. I think it's called the internetarchive.org, and they gather all the old retro games and all that as well. However, I get what you're saying about modern games, because there's a lot of games that have come out only on digital and then have fallen away completely, which is sad. But also, if we're talking about other media as well, something interesting that old movies, you know, when they come out, when they push them out again on digital, they edit them, obviously, because there's certain scenes that might offend people nowadays or something like that, right? And they actually edit the films now. Whereas if you've got the old original VHS or Betamax or something like that, right, you've got the original film as it was intended. Yeah.
Star Wars is a perfect example of that, because I've got the original still on VHS.
So,
Yep.
well, I've got the originals on DVD because they did like a special editions of like I think it was the original trilogy, and then they did the sort of like the prequel trilogy just shortly afterwards. But
That's
they were in
right,
like sets, so it was like 2 disc, And one disc was the original film unaltered, and the other disc was the special edition
Well,
with all its
the George
CGI
Lucas fuck
weirdness.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And,
'cause I mean,
and
I,
the Nintendo 3DS shop shuts down this year as well. So a lot of those games that you won't be able to get ever again. You know.
yeah, they're starting to creep up
And
as
it's
well.
Nintendo; they're horrendous at
Yeah,
archiving
I just managed to bag the Japanese, because I've got a Japanese 3DS because it's regional locked, isn't it? The 3DS.
Yeah.
I picked up a copy of the Sega 3D Classics from Japan from PlayAsia.
Oh, nice.
Great site, that PlayAsia.
Yeah,
So I've got all the arcade games in 3D on a cart.
Awesome.
I had to grab that. That was starting to go.
Little bonus for anyone who's using PlayAsia. Go for unmarked packaging if you can. Because ever since I used the unmarked packaging, touch wood, I haven't had to pay import tax on it. Anything I've ordered.
Okay.
Because they used to do like a thing where you could pay the taxes and everything up front with your shipping.
Yeah.
And it worked out pretty good because there's nothing worse than getting the old we've got your parcel as a hostage. You lose your arse all the way down here in the hospital. You hate to get it.
Yeah, and it's some random figure as well. They just make up, isn't it? Normally.
Yeah. So the opening fee. We opened your box and had to reseal it. That's like £8.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thanks. Nice. So far I haven't had tax on it. But when we came out of Europe, they obviously had to get rid of that, being able to prepay everything up front.
Yeah, I've been buying a lot of PlayAsia recently, and I forgot to mention the games I've been playing at the moment, but I'll just say that a couple of the games that have come out in PlayAsia, the only other way you can get them is through Strictly Limited, and some of them are censored in Strictly Limited, and they've changed it.
Because that's America, isn't it? Probably.
And they come out later. So, like, Pocky and Rocky Reshrined doesn't come out till next month. Physical copy. The only way to get it is PlayAsia.
Asian one. I saw that up. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's not censored. Or they've changed something around in the Strictly Limited one.
What, Pocky and Rocky?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
That's only £28 as well.
I know.
Not bad, is it?
Great little game.
But yeah, going back to what we were talking about, that's probably the reason why I don't use the Xbox, as I say, is because of what we're doing with this whole online crap today. I mean, I would be the same with the PlayStation as well. If the PlayStation, I wasn't able to use it unless I had to always do the fucking updates, then yeah, I'd probably be in the same boat and dump that as well. I'm not a fan of this new gen of we have to always update all the time. I mean, I can understand, yes, you've got to do the updates for sort of security methods and stuff like that. But if I turn my console on and I've got half an hour and I think, well, I just want to play that for half an hour. Oh, for fuck's sake, I've got a fucking update.
Yeah, but that's all well and good for single player games. That's all right.
But they should give you that.
I know what you're saying, but multiplayer games have updates regularly, right?
Yeah, that's understandable. But what I'm saying is, there was so many times you used to turn the console on, and it was like, I mean, the last time I turned the Xbox on, I thought, oh, I'll just switch that on and play that. I wasn't able to use the console. It wouldn't let me do fucking anything. I had to do the update. It was like, really? I just want to play my disc game. And it actually wasn't actually a disc game. I wanted to play a Blu-ray. It wouldn't even let me do that. I had to do the update.
You have to download an app.
Yeah.
I already had the app. Yeah, I already had the app, but because it had to do the fucking update, as in months later, it wouldn't even let me use the console. So basically, it's a box, isn't it? It's just it's an internet-based box.
Well, yeah, but what they've done now is what you might not know, and I know you like to turn on your plugs off and shit like that. However, on the power off mode, they've updated it now where even when it's off, it can still do the update in the background, even on the power saving mode.
It won't on mine because they're off every night.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. That's a problem. You know, but you know,
eventually it's just going to be a streaming device, isn't it? Really?
Well,
it will be exactly that.
Yeah. and that's not the future that I'm interested in. So that's the reason why I'm sort of probably, this is probably the last console I buy from Sony, really, because they are going to go. Well, Sony seem to do everything Xbox do, which fucks me off as well. They don't seem to have any sort of brains to do their own.
Well, now
thing.
they're doing their Game Pass model, aren't they? I'm sure you're really pleased about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Well, at least Nintendo still do their own thing. It'd be interesting to see, because there's a lot of people saying that Nintendo don't really know what to do at the moment, because they don't want to. You think that they had such success with the Wii. They then bought the Wii U out, which was a complete flop, and now we're on the Switch, which is brilliant, the best console ever. And now we're going to have what? The Switch 2? Is this going to end up? I don't think they'll do. So long as they keep the handheld and the TV input, they're on a winner.
Yeah.
Which I think they.
Well, the thing is, the trouble is with these more powerful ones, they all want these chips that are in demand at the moment. That's why it's hard for PS5 to get into people's hands, whereas Nintendo are using technology that's old. And it's not hard to get hold of. So that's why they can get these consoles into houses. Yeah. That's why it's doing so well. I think if they could get the chips, they might be doing a bit better, Sony.
The same with the Series S, isn't it? That's why the Series S is everywhere. As it's not using all of the components that the other ones are, so they can put more of them out.
But as well as, not going to take that away from what Nintendo are doing, they're doing a fantastic job of appealing to a lot of people. I mean, it's now the go-to shmup console. There's loads of shmups coming out for the Switch. There's hardly any lag with the Joy-Cons. It's just a great way to play shmups. If you're competitively on the Switch. It's a great console. I think you need both, though. You need, if you're a proper game, you like all the big AAA titles, you need a PS4 and a Switch or a PC as well. They all go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, you need to have a Switch and either a PlayStation or an Xbox or a PC, one of the three that's more powerful than the Switch, because otherwise you will miss stuff like the Cyberpunks and stuff like that. So you do need, and even Elden Ring, really, that's another one.
Yeah,
those kind of games. So don't put yourself all down one path of the Switch, which you could do, but you will miss certain other stuff.
But I mean, I can tell you a bit later if there's time, because I wanted to mention the games I was playing. But
I'm done.
No, you finish your round, mate. I'll go at the end or something if you like.
Well, I'm finished.
He's just finished.
Yeah.
What, Darren? You go then, mate. You go, mate.
Well, I haven't really got much to talk about this week. I pretty much spoke about everything I did last week I was on, where I'd finished a ton of games. Because Webby was off in Oz for a few weeks, so But this week back to the usual, I guess. I haven't done as much gaming this week either. Suppose the only one really worth talking about is that Chernobylite still. I've just been sort of mucking about on that.
So funny you mentioned that. So I know. So obviously you talked about it last week. And I said that I had it on the PC. I haven't, and I because I got it in early access, right? And I was saying, it was quite rough. Obviously, when I played it, and I hadn't actually played it since 2020, so
fair enough.
Yeah, so I actually on Monday and Tuesday this week, I pumped quite a few hours into it, and it had completely changed from the early access that I'd played. And even so, and they changed it a lot since they even released it, because they did like another update where they improved the graphics as well. So on the PC version, they added the ray tracing and the DLSS, which for people that don't know, it's exclusive to NVIDIA cards, and it uses AI to so it brings the resolution down so it brings the workload down on the graphics card, but it uses AI to actually make it look better than what it would look at native resolution. So you get the performance with the ray tracing. Anyway, that's a long-winded way of explaining it. Anyway, so I pumped about 4, 5, 6 hours into it, and I'm absolutely loving it, and I'm surprised to see that no one else on my Steam friends list has actually played it, and I've got about 200 odd Steam friends. And I know this is on console as well. I believe it's on Xbox. I know it's on PlayStation.
It's on Xbox and PlayStation. It came out originally on the, like I said last week, on the standard Xbox One and
Wow,
PS4.
Okay.
And then it was only this year that they released like the Series X and PS5 sort of upgrades for it, which obviously adds a little bit of ray tracing and the usual sort of like graphical options that you get on games these days of how you want to play it.
But what I'm liking about it, and I know you'll agree with me here, Darren, is it's not like a standard FPS where you're running around just shooting people willy nilly or anything like that.
No, you actually get penalised for killing people.
So shooting is like, well, I haven't actually shot anyone at all since I've been playing it because it's a psychological game, and you spend so it's based in Chernobyl, and basically you've got a base and you go out into the world. You've got these different missions to do, and you can sneak around and basically it's finding clues as to what's happened to your girlfriend who disappeared, a long time ago, and it I'm trying not to spoil it, but you get clues about her whereabouts, and it's basically it's very psychological. It's very weird. You like see apparitions, you hear voices, spooky things happen when you go into certain areas. Like there's one that sticks in my mind where I went into this building and I walked past this doll, and then when I walked past it, like its eyes started to light up, and it just looked really fucking freaky. So it has all these weird psychological things, and it's all to do with the radiation, I think. But you have a base of operations, and you gather recruits into your base, but you've got to keep them happy, so you've got to feed them, you've got to make sure there's enough beds, you've got to make sure it's warm, it's got light, so there's base building in there as well, but you can only build certain items by collecting resources when you're out in different parts of the zone. So there's all these different things to think about when you're playing it, and it wraps up into a really solid package, I think, and I think it's a little bit of a shame that it hasn't got more hype. It's not really being talked about, because it's one of those games that I think that's easily missed because it just hasn't had the media attention, if that makes sense, right? Because it's reviewed really, really well as well. But I'd say I've not heard anyone else talking about it. I've not seen anyone else play it. And it's one of those games that I urge people to try because it is a solid game. And especially now, people are saying, oh, there's no fucking games to play. Oh, there's nothing to play. And I'm like, look, fucking play this. It's really good. Sorry, Darren. What are you going to say on it?
No, it's going to be fine. Just like I'm still really enjoying the atmosphere to it and things and the setting. Although it's like I said before, it's not open. You kind of go to these different areas.
Yeah.
To do certain missions, and you can send your other party members out to do other missions for scavenging, and you have to assign your party rations and stuff as well at the end of the day to make sure that they can perform properly. Because if they fail missions, their morale goes down, etc. There's like quite a few systems there in place. The game, it's not a full price game either. This is like a mid-range, sort of like 25-30 quid game. So
I think it's worth it.
Physically and digitally.
Yeah, it's a really cool game, and as I say, people have probably skipped past it, but it, I think,
I can see it being one of those ones that will hit Game Pass or something like that, and a lot of people will play it through that.
Yeah, I mean, a part of me hopes it does hit Game Pass because I would like to see people check this out because it is a fantastic experience. Is all you played, Darren?
Yeah, that's pretty much me done, unless you want me to bore you with the same old games.
Final Fantasy and the other lot.
Nah, Elden Ring,
etc. I have played it. I haven't finished it or anything.
No.
Well, off Elden Ring.
Yeah, I've gone.
Yeah, it was just sort of that. Just put it down for a bit.
Yeah, I'll put it down.
I don't know what Elden Ring. Everyone rated it and thought it was the best game ever, but I don't know. I thought the open world ruined it for me. I just thought it just made it overwhelming. It just become another Assassin's Creed sort of game. Loads of
It is
Just
options.
take it in
overwhelming.
its
Oh
part,
my
explore it bit by
god.
bit.
Yeah.
What's
I
that?
think it's a game you can go back to though, because it's not
Yeah.
like you're following a storyline and then you get
No.
lost or forgotten what I've got to do. You can literally jump back into it whenever you want and just
Mm.
go and just take something out. That's one thing that's good about it. But it
Yeah.
is just so big, and I ended up grinding for quite a while, which got a bit. But I know you have to do that in a lot of those games. But
Yeah.
I mean, it is a good game. You can't take that away from it. I mean,
No, it's a good game.
the enemy designs and stuff are so cool. You know, it's very well done. But it's just a huge game, and it's time. I find it
Mm.
easier just to pick up an arcade game that's just quicker and easier. I don't know. Maybe it's just my age.
Oh, I loved
Yeah.
it.
I
You
do
know,
like it.
I mean, we've talked about it so much on this podcast. I'm not going to go over old ground
Yeah.
anyway, but you know,
Yeah.
most people have finished it that I know now, so that's why the hype has really died down. The
Yeah.
discussions have pretty much vanished on the Discord, whereas for the
Yeah,
first,
I laughed because someone
Yeah.
put up a story the other day where it was like, oh, Elden Ring's active player count has dropped by 90% since the game came out. And
well,
like,
it's been
yeah, 'cause
out,
people
come out ages
finished
ago.
it and it's a single player game.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
what happens with games. Like,
Yeah.
when you finish them, you generally stop playing them.
Yeah, if it's a
Yeah.
multiplayer game, you'd be like, "Oh fucking hell, that game's dead." A bit like Halo Infinite. But if it's a single player game, like, yeah, it's normal. They've made the money. It's sold, done. You know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have heard a lot of people that have actually played Elden Ring and have finished it as well, that have actually then lost their mojo to the game afterwards because they don't know what else to play. So that's the other thing as well.
Really?
There, maybe.
Uh,
Yeah, as in they
this
had
is-
such a good time with the game, they can't find anything else that's as good as it now. You know.
I think
Right.
I think the problem is I think people don't look. Yeah, and you know,
Or don't play enough different types of games.
yeah,
Well,
and
exactly, Darren.
yeah.
Exactly that, Darren.
Yeah.
People have put all their eggs in one basket. They
Mm.
think gaming has got to be the latest game all the time. Fucking, there's so many new games coming
Mm.
out all the time. You just
Yeah,
got to widen
agree.
your horizons a
Yeah,
bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I completely agree. And what I was going to say is, you know, I do feel a little bit spoiled having every system, but I have always, you know, got something to play. And you know, there's games I've bought. There's Game Pass, and I know people slag off Game Pass, like you guys, all of you are now. I'm kind of on my own on that, but Game
I
Pass,
think
there's
it's
been
good
Don't
value for
take-
money. It's
don't
just not
slag
for
it
me.
off. It's just not for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, I know,
slag it off.
but-
I don't have a problem with it, but it's just I don't want to pay a subscription service.
yeah,
again.
no, and I understand
Another
that.
subscription.
But for someone like me who plays a lot of video games, you know,
Yeah, perfect.
Game Pass, like especially recently, it's had some quality titles, which I'm going to talk about very shortly, have popped up on there, and it's just never ending. You know what I mean? For me, it's like I can always find something to play on Game Pass. Even though I have bought a game, I bought 2 games this week, which I'm going to talk about in a minute because I know Darren's kind of finished talking about his games.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have. I've finished. You can carry on into yours from here if you want.
Yeah, so you know, okay, so I'm going to go into what I've been playing because I've been playing a few games, but I'm not going to be talking about them for a long time at all because I want to hear what Alex has been playing as well. But there's a few games that I have been playing which are absolutely awesome. The first one is a PC exclusive. However, this is going to be coming to consoles at some point because it's got crossplay on it. Like in the main menu, it says, "Oh, it's got crossplay," and it's a co-op only game. And this game is called We Were Here Forever. Now, there's been 3 other games that have come out. It's, you know, they're called like We Were Here. It's called like the We Were Here games, and I actually didn't know anything about these games until We Were Here Forever just launched this week, and that's because it suddenly, for some reason, got a load of hype, and myself and Wes picked it up to play co-op together. It's only like £14 on Steam, which, you know, is not a huge amount of money, and the reason why it's so good is because like it's a co-op only game like It Takes Two, right? But it's more puzzle heavy than It Takes Two. It's basically a co-op escape room type video game. So you start off, you're a character each, and basically we've played about 4 hours now, and sometimes it splits you off into 2 different zones, and sometimes you're together. But it's basically solving puzzles. So basically, you need to talk to your partner, because like a lot of the puzzles are, you'll see something and your partner will see something else, and then you've got to like explain like the shapes and like to each other, if that makes sense. And sometimes they can be quite obscure, and then you got to like move buttons and switches and stuff like that to get them in the right order to open the door to get to the next area. So that's how that's worked. But like, some of the rooms are absolutely mind-bending, and some of the puzzles, like we've been stuck on puzzle, like there was one puzzle we were stuck on for over an hour just trying to figure it out. We were talking to each other, and basically the way it was set out, there was like, me and Wes were on 2 sides of a room, and there was these numbers, and you go for like, so on my side there'd be 2 number 1s, 2 number 2s. So basically you go through a door, you go through the number 1 door, and then you come out at the other number 1 at top, and then there'd be these switches. So we'd have these coloured switches, and the colours would choose which floor to move. So the floors would move like kind of up and down to make like little bridges for each person to move across. So I would have to kind of try and work out where Wes has got to go, and then Wes would have to work out where I've got to go. And fucking hell, it took us so long to figure it out, because we're just looking at it at the screens going, what the fuck? And we're trying to explain to each other where to go. And it's just, I've not played a game like this. But you know, like that co-op, that teamwork, that the mental skills you kind of need, to figure out these puzzles is absolutely insane.
Is it being compared with Portal, that game? Is that the same one?
I've heard some people, I have seen some people compare it to Portal, because I remember like Portal had some really hard puzzles, especially in co-op, right?
Yeah.
So I can see where that comparison can be drawn. However, this is pure puzzles, and I tell you what, you got to give massive credit to the dev team on this. The puzzles are absolutely amazing. It's so well done. They're just so out of the box. There was one I'm really struggling to explain. I'm just trying to see if there's a video here. Yeah, so if you look at my video, there's like this room, and basically there's all these like octagonal things like all around you. And so each person's in each one, and then you got to like move them around so the shapes match, and then you go through a door and it takes you to the next one. But like having that viewpoint, it just makes it really difficult, because you're trying to explain the shapes to your teammate who can't see them, and you've got to like twist the rooms around a certain amount of time. So I'm saying to Wes, you need to turn it clockwise 3 times for it to match up with that. And then you've got to go through this door to the north. So communication's really important, and it just makes it so much fun, because the puzzles are really hard, and because it's really mind-bending as well. Like that sense of achievement when you've completed a puzzle, like we've jumped for joy. You know, we've been in chat on Discord and we've been like, yeah, we fucking did it, woo, you know. And it's just so cool to play something like that, because you know, most games I play are racing games or shooting games, and to have something that's like completely different to anything I play with a friend is just like one of the greatest experiences that you can get in video games, to be honest.
Yeah, it sounds awesome, man.
It's so good. And when this comes to console, I can't wait.
The Switch though, because you need to talk to someone. You can't do that on
No,
the Switch.
I'd say it'd be perfect for PlayStation or Xbox, you know, with a friend in party chat. You know, but there's a whole series. This is the 4th game, so I'm actually going to go. In my Steam library, I've already got the first 2 games. I just didn't even know I had them, so I must have got them in a humble bundle. So I think me and Wes, once we've done this, we're going to go back and do the older games as well. So Yeah, it's such a great game, and big shout out to Wes for making me aware of it, because I had no idea, and then I started looking up about it and was like, oh wow, this is, you know, fucking awesome. So yeah, that's
cool, man.
Yeah, it's such a great game. It really, really is. So yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to that. It's been my highlight of the week, that game, to be fair, playing that. I've been doing the usuals, so a big shout out to Captive Venom, Lafafumi, and Peebs actually as well. We did Forza Thursday. So for those of you that don't know, who haven't listened for a while, every Thursday evening around 8:30, we jump onto Forza Horizon 5. Just because I have weeklies, like for unlocking cars and stuff like that, you have to do different races and stuff. So we jump on every Thursday, group up and play Forza. Really good time every single week. We just have a blast on that. Anyone is welcome. So if anyone fancies jumping on Forza on a Thursday with us, you're more than welcome. So we've been having a lot of fun with that. Obviously, I'd been in Australia for a month, so I hadn't actually played my PlayStation at all in quite a long time, and I'd missed it big time. So I jumped back onto Gran Turismo 7, got out the steering wheel, and had a really good online session with Captive Venom. So what we did is, because Laffer's PlayStation, his game crashed, and he had to reinstall Gran Turismo because it had corrupted. So it's not just the Xbox that has these issues. Yeah, so he's got really shit internet, so he couldn't get on because the game was re-downloading and it was taking forever. So it's just me and Captive Venom, and so we just jumped into random lobbies and we had a really good time just poning nubs. Still a great game. It's just, you know, the graphics are great, the gameplay's great. It just, that lobby system needs sorting, because you still can't change your tracks or cars within a lobby. You have to quit the lobby and start a new one and make all the changes that way. But a great game online. I just think it's such a shame that there's only like 3 or 4 of us in this community that actually fucking play this game. It's the perfect multiplayer game, and no fucker plays it. And it just really upsets
It's on
me.
If
PlayStation.
the game didn't require a constant internet connection, I'd have bought it day one.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I would have bought it day one, but no way. Not online only. Fuck off.
But to play online, whatever. I know what you guys are like, so it's fine. So yeah, still having a blast on that. Also, I've been doing a little bit of racing. I know the new game's out. I think it's in a month or whatever. But good old Game Pass, because of EA Access or whatever the fuck it is. Formula 1 2021 is on Game Pass. So I've been playing that. And I'll tell you what, I was thinking I was going to be really boring, just F1, driving around. I mean, I like F1. I watched the race today. Stappen won. Way. The story mode on this is really good. And it's done in a really cool way. So there's a few modes on it. There's a career mode and multiplayer mode and all that. But there's a story mode where you play as this character, and you start off at one of the lower teams, but it has all this drama going on. So you won't do all the full races. So some races you'll start halfway through after you've been spun out and you've got to catch up. There's all this drama going on where you and your teammate aren't getting on, and your teammate like tries to ram you off the road, being a knob, and all this. And it's just really, really cool, like, to have like some stories. It's got, some story like off the track and that. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, I want to carry on a bit. It's a bit like a soap opera. So I'm really impressed with the story mode on this, and obviously I know that the new game's out, and that's why this is on Game Pass. But I'm really happy just to play this, to be honest, because graphically it looks nice. Gameplay wise, it's not simmy at all. It's very arcadey, and that's kind of what I like with the controller. Yeah.
What's that, F121, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because usually they're like simulators. I got bored of those kind of games. But if it's got a story or something for you to chase,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
get
yeah,
involved with, it becomes a bit more interesting, doesn't it? Other than tweaking your brakes and your
yeah.
suspension and shit, you know.
Yeah,
It's getting
and this is
bored.
what I was really surprised by, because the older, like all the F1 games before this have been like that, right? Whereas
Yeah,
this, because it's got that story mode, it's like, oh yeah, I want to know what happens next, and because you're not just doing the full races every race, it's you get through them a lot quicker, yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a really cool idea, and I think it's been borrowed from other games, because I know like FIFA's got a story mode, like the MLB game I play's got like a little
Yeah, yeah.
story mode as well. So
I mean, it makes sense. You kind of get into more of the spirit of the event that's going
yeah,
on, the tournament that you'd
yeah,
be in, etc.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Is this the first one that's got the story mode? Because I've just
I
looked up here, F1 2020. Did they do?
I
the
don't
story
know,
mode
because
with
I
that?
never played it. I never played 2020.
Oh,
So
okay. Just wondering. Holds
I
its
don't-
price actually. It's 21. It's 26 quid, but it says here that there's a new one. 22's coming out in August or July, I think it is.
yeah,
F1
because
22.
yeah. Well, it's out. I know. I think it's out very, very soon. 100%. Yeah, because obviously they need the game to be out while the season's running. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good. I'm really impressed with it. So yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to that, because it's something that I didn't think about would have a good story mode, but it's actually really cool. So
Mm.
okay, so I've only played a couple more games. So Darren actually mentioned this last week, that he'd been watching people playing it. Vampire Survivors. This game's
Yes.
this game's really addictive, and what's really weird, right, is Darren mentioned it on the podcast last week. So I bought it on Steam. It was only like £1.60 or something. But then the day after I bought it, it come out on freaking Game Pass. So I refunded it on Steam, and now I'm playing it on Game Pass. So I don't actually know if it's on Game Pass on the Xbox, because I haven't actually looked. But I've been playing it
No,
on.
it's not. It's only on the PC version of Game Pass.
Right. Okay.
Is
So
this a fighting or a beat 'em up? Side scrolling beat 'em
No,
up? Or...
you'd like this, Alex. It's basically a pixel art, like very much done in like a kind of a mixture of, I'd say, 8-bit and 16-bit. If it's sort
Yeah.
of met in the middle for a graphical style, because it's got like the 8-bit style look,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
with the amount of enemies on screen and shit going off, it's like 16-bit plus sort of a thing.
Yeah, but it's
But you
weird.
just
Yeah.
move your character. That's all you do, is you move your character around, and while he auto attacks or they
Yeah.
auto attack,
Yeah.
and you go around picking up power ups to make yourself more survivable.
Right.
It sounds really boring, but
I'm sure I've heard of it, I've watched a video, but I just can't remember it now in my head. I'm thinking
Well,
of
Webby, what was your experience anyway? Sorry.
I think it's really fun. So it's on the I'm showing it on the Twitch video at the moment. If you're not watching it, then have a look on there. Yeah, it's basically like, I thought it took me a little while to get used to, because I was like, oh, he's auto attacking. But then what you do in your mind is you can kind of time when he's going to attack. So you kind of like so what I was doing is getting myself close to enemies when I know he's going to attack, and then I'll back off. But then, you collect the little gems from the enemies you kill, and then you can choose out of 3 upgrades. So like extra weapons that you throw at the same time will power up your main weapon or whatever. So I got to a point where I had like 5 weapons all being on the go at the same time, pounding them up. But then it slowly just gets more and more enemies on the screens. It's basically just how long can you survive for, like a classic arcade game, right? And it just gets so chaotic. It's just hilarious. You get more different enemies appearing after a while. They take longer to kill, and it's just that one more go element to it, right? There's a lot of fun.
Characters to unlock as well.
Yeah,
as you play through, there's new characters to unlock, other powers, and there's like roguelike elements, isn't there? You can also use your gold to invest in like better stuff before you head out into the mission, to give you more. Because the first few times you're going out, you're going to get destroyed.
Yeah,
like it's just going to happen. You're going to get better the longer you play at it.
Yeah, that's correct. But yeah, it's a
for
cool
the price
little
of the
indie
game
game
anyway. Like a couple of quid. You cannot go wrong for that.
No, and then for the price of part of your Game Pass subscription on PC, and getting Chivos, it's even better.
I was
So,
actually watching one of the guys who's streaming it, and he'd been enjoying it for ages. And someone else joined him on the call
oh yeah,
while they was having a conversation, and some bloke just came in and went, "How much was this game?" And he's like, "A couple of dollars." And he went, "It's pathetic, isn't it?" He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, someone on their own makes this game for a couple of $100, and you have way more fun and enjoyment playing this than these fucking companies pumping out this AAA stuff
Yeah.
half the time. Because it's like they're chasing trends. They're not trying to create them. They're chasing them.
Yeah.
Whereas it's up to the individual people or companies that want to kind of veer off a little bit that are going to be the ones that create the new trend. Like
Yeah.
someone had to create a battle royale game for it to become this huge thing to start off with.
Yeah. Good old PUBG.
Call of Duty and Halo and etc. were the leading forces of the first person sort of online multiplayer stuff, as well as the other tactical
Yeah.
type of games. I mean, one of the biggest new tactical games, wasn't there a new armor mod I saw advertised this week?
There's a new kind of
Like an
armor.
upgrade to it?
Well, there's an armor come out on the Xbox, and apparently it's dog shit. So it's in early access.
But yeah, that all started off as a mod for, was it DayZ or something?
No, DayZ started off as a mod for armor.
Oh, right, fair enough. Yeah,
from armor.
There we
yeah,
go.
Yeah.
I know it was one way round. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, it's cool. Okay, I'm gonna get into my last games played anyway. So I've been because I'm back home, and my missus and my kids are still in Australia, so I'm living the bachelor life for a few weeks, and it's
How much freedom have you got?
it's amazing. I can actually use my
I said,
TV.
How much longer have you got?
Another week and a half.
How much
That's
big is your right arm?
Oh, it's massive, mate. Yeah. Oh no, it's nuts. Literally. Yeah. So I've been really loving my Xbox again. Because usually I'm confined upstairs with my PC. And I've just been thinking, right, I've got the TV. I'm going to make the most of sitting on the sofa, spreading out. And it's been like the good old days, you know. I've been on the Xbox every single day, and people are going to probably bemoan me, but I don't care. I've been really getting back into Call of Duty, you know, and I've been playing it a hell of a lot. So I've been playing Call of Duty Warzone with Peebs, and Colin joined us on Saturday as well. I had like an 8-hour session on Call of Duty on Saturday. It was amazing. And this new game mode, Godzilla versus King Kong. So it's on the big map, and you've got to shoot Godzilla.
It, yeah.
Oh, it's really well done. Absolutely loving it. So I'm playing that a hell of a lot.
It's got all the proper sound effects as well, hasn't
Yeah.
it? Even like when Godzilla's charging his beam and that.
Yeah, and it's really weird for me because obviously I've been into PC gaming for quite a few years now, and I've kind of never lost the knack with the controller though, to be honest, because I've been back onto Call of Duty on the Xbox on the controller and just fucking on it, man, just really getting back in the zone. And it's been like feeling of, you know, playing like on the 360 back in the day, you know, just chilling out on the sofa and just playing a Call of Duty game. I've been getting those feelings back again, which is really, really cool. So yeah, I've been playing that Warzone. I'm back into it. I think it's cool. However, I like Battle Royale, but I don't like to play it all the time. I like, you know, the classic multiplayer, you know, like Capture the Flag, Capture the Zones, Team Deathmatch, all those sort of game modes, you know what I mean? Search and Destroy. So Call of Duty Vanguard was on sale this week, and I picked up the gold edition of that with my Bing points, good old Bing points. And they've also been doing a free weekend for Vanguard as well. So I got Peebs to actually to pick it up as well. just obviously the free weekend, and so we've been playing some Vanguard together as well. Obviously, I've been playing way more Vanguard than Peeps because I'm literally just jumping on it. You know, if I have a spare half an hour just to play a few games online, and so there's loads of game modes on this, which is, you know, the classic ones, you know, that I mentioned a minute ago, and it's really weird because like Call of Duty Vanguard, I think got panned a little bit in the reviews, but I think the multiplayer on this is really good. Like the maps are really well done. I think there's some classic maps in there from World at War, which is really, really cool as well. But I think the maps are really well done. I love that fast gameplay action, and I like the fact that I'm pretty good at the game as well. so that helps. But you know, it's that classic, and I know a lot of people be like, "Oh, it's just Call of Duty," and yeah, I agree. It's the same old Call of Duty, but that kind of fast-paced action, that you know, the how it feels with the controller and stuff like that, you know, never for me it's kind of perfect for a first person shooter. It's just so precise, and you know, I've been playing it, you know, every day this week, Call of Duty Vanguard multiplayer online, even if it's just on my own, which is fantastic. It is cross-play, so I actually downloaded the free weekend on my PC as well, so played it a bit on there, but I'm just playing just playing it on the Xbox, to be honest, because it's just nice sitting on the sofa, feet up, and had headphones on, and maybe getting into party chat with someone if they want to play, but just mainly just been playing it on my own because hardly any fuckers online anymore. So if anyone wants to play Vanguard with me, let me know, and we'll play. But yeah, so there's all the classic game modes, but there's a new one. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's a bit like a battle royale. So you jump into the big map, but it's not a battle royale because there's 2 teams and there's 5 bases on the map. And so basically you've got to capture the bases, and then after like 3 or 4 minutes, like every 3 or 4 minutes, like this bomb appears on the map. So you've all got to fight over this bomb, and then you've got to get the bomb, take it to one of your bases, and then you can choose which of the enemy bases to blow up. So that keeps on happening until there's either one base left and whoever owns the base is the winner, or say if there's like 2 bases left but one team owns those 2 bases, a countdown happens, and if the opposite team hasn't captured a base within that time limit, then the team that has all the bases is the winner. And that's actually a really cool game mode because it acts a little bit like a battle royale, but it isn't. Yeah. But the other game modes, you know, it's the same old COD. You've got your loadouts and you choose your favourite guns and you get your unlocks and all that bollocks, yeah? So that's cool. So also, because I've picked it up, I've been playing some of the campaign of Vanguard as well. And it's actually pretty decent. So I'm not going to go into all of it because I know it's quite old now.
Graphically, it's nice.
Graphically, it's
well done.
It's stunning. I think it's fantastic. But what I really like about it is I'm a sucker for World War II stuff. Like, I'm one of those people, like, if I'm watching telly, I've always got the History Channel on, especially if there's World War II History Channel stuff on. I just love it. So I've always loved World War II video games, and I know we did go through a period before where we got inundated with them. However, this has got a really cool story. It's very different. So there's like 5 characters in this, and it starts off kind of at the end, if that makes sense. So you all get captured, and you're all from different countries, like Britain, Canada, Russia, and Poland, I think. I can't remember the other country, but so then you go back and play through kind of all the characters' kind of origin stories on how they got into the war, if that makes sense. And it's really cool. I think it's really well done. I'm only on the 2nd character at the moment because I've been playing a lot of the multiplayer, but I'm really, really liking this. It's really, really good. So I've been playing that. So I went onto eBay and ordered a copy of Call of Duty, the last Black Ops game, because I never played the campaign for that. So I got that coming this week as well, just because I'm really into the COD campaigns at the moment, obviously the multiplayer. So yeah, man, absolutely loving Vanguard. I think it's great, and it doesn't. And I think more people should check it out. Especially, I think the free weekend is.
Wasn't there? You haven't ordered the Black Ops that doesn't actually have a campaign?
No, I haven't ordered the
Because
one
there
that does
was a
no.
Black Ops that literally came out with no campaign, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's not that
It was
one.
just
Like,
multiplayer and
no, the
like a
one I
zombie
ordered.
mode kind of thing.
No, the one I ordered has that campaign. It's the I can't remember the. I need to look on eBay. Yeah, it's got that like set in the Vietnam type era. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because Peeps played it and he really liked the campaign. Black Ops Cold War. That's it. Yeah.
Right, yes.
Yeah, it's got yeah. So Peeps told me the campaign was pretty decent, so I wanted to, because it's kind of like an action, because they're kind of like action movie games. You're just kind of funneled along, really, aren't you? And it's just sometimes just quite nice to play something.
Shooting galleries.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but I had noticed the reason I picked up Vanguard is just the reason why I picked it up anyways, because I'd noticed quite a few people on my friends list have been playing the multiplayer recently. So it's just to really jump in with some people I hadn't gamed with for a while as well. So, but if more people do pick it up, then that's great. As I say, it's cross-play. So if you picked up on the PlayStation Stunty, we could still play it. So, yeah, man, just that's all I've been playing. Good times. Alex, what have you? We'll spin back to you, mate, because you didn't talk about the games you've been playing, my dude.
Oh, blimey, yeah. Well, I won't be too long. Just wanted to mention a couple of shmups that I've been playing on the Switch because they are highly recommended. There's a new one that's just come out on the Switch, and it is, I think it appeared on the Dreamcast, and it was an arcade game only. It's just come out on the Switch.
All right.
It's got two names, I think, and I don't think there's any, because it looks like it's two games, but it's just two different names for the game. I think one's a Japanese name, one's a European name. It's Layer Section and Galactic Attack, and it is an unbelievable shoot 'em up. It's not a bullet hell. It's an old school shoot 'em up, but it graphically it is unbelievable. It's beautiful to play. Absolutely stunning game.
Were these originally on the
can't
Sega Saturn by any chance? Because I've literally just pumped it into YouTube and the top
It might
result
have
said
been the
Sega Saturn.
I thought it might have been on Saturn. I thought it was a Dreamcast, but yeah, it could be the Saturn. So it's the first time it's had another console release since then,
Wow.
and it is a stunning shmup. It really is.
Nice.
Just well, you're going through space, and it's got a bit of rendering graphics in there and stuff like that. But it is a cool shoot 'em up. I'm really getting into the shoot 'em ups at the moment. Not bullet hells. Not.
Have you got the flip grip for your Switch?
I don't. And I don't have an arcade stick for my Switch either. I'm literally playing it on the Joy-Cons, which is you know, it's crying shame really.
Yeah,
but you know, the Joy-Cons have got no lag. There's no lag on the Joy-Cons.
But all I was gonna say is there's it's basically, if you look up flip grip, it's basically just turns your Switch around and you slide your Joy-Cons in, so you can have your Switch sideways, yeah,
the right way up.
Yeah, so it's really good for those shmups. Yeah, so I've
got to get one of those. Does Nintendo make one of them? Or is
no, it's unofficial. It's aftermarket. Yeah, it's not expensive or anything.
Yeah. No, I've got to get one of those, dude. Definitely, and an arcade stick. I was looking at them today. Actually, they're about 120 quid. Not cheap.
I thought you already had a Switch arcade stick, or did you get rid of it?
I had an 8-bit Do arcade stick, but there was a lot of lag in it. I didn't like it. It's Bluetooth. I just want to plug in a cabled one.
I thought you could plug it into the dock. I thought you could plug it into the dock with the USB it comes with.
No, not with the 8. Not as far as I know. Unless I missed something. Anyway, it's not the best one on the market. Anyway, there's a couple out there that I'm looking at. The Hori and what was the other one? I can't remember the name of the other one now. But yeah, I do need to get an arcade stick. The other game
is usually your choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
These days.
The other game is Crisis Wing, which is an awesome game. Plays a little bit like Truxton, Tatsujin. It's easier than Truxton. Truxton is a hard game. This doesn't make it bad just because it's easier, because the levels are longer. It takes you longer to get to the end of level boss, and it kind of keeps you going because there's every time you kill like a wave of enemies that come on the screen, you get like a badge that comes on the screen. It's like 100 points. If you kill the next wave, you get another badge. It would be two. You could see it's a multiplier all the
Right,
time.
yeah.
Keep the multipliers going, and suddenly you're up into the 1,000 points. You know, and then you're going for
Create
that
your score
more than you
attack.
are. Yeah, your score attack. So you're kind of going for them more than you are the enemies. And it's that risk reward balance in the game that's like, you know, it's perfectly done. You can get
Nice.
too greedy, you know, going for these bonuses. But what an awesome game, Crisis Wing. Check that one out, guys.
Yeah, it
It's
looks
absolutely
good, man. I'm
brilliant.
watching a video out of it at the moment. Yeah, it looks wicked.
Yeah, brilliant shoot 'em. I've been playing that a lot. I got about 42,000 on it the other day. I was well chuffed with that.
Nice.
The other games have been burying my head in is Golf Story. I know this has been out quite a long time,
Oh,
but
it's
I
a good
finally
game,
managed to
that.
get a copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Japanese one from Play Asia. Absolutely loving this game. I mean, we were talking about sports sims, you know, that can be quite boring, can't they? But this has got a fantastic little stories going on. You know, like rescuing the boy out of the lake. You've got to knock him on the head with a golf ball, and
Yeah.
to get him out of the lake and shit like that. It's just a beautifully well done game. The only thing I would say, it needs a map. I know it's not a huge game, but it's annoying trying to find the characters in the map sometimes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Or
Yeah.
in the game, rather. It just needs a little map in there. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm playing that at the moment. That's a brilliant game. I finished Pocket Rocky Reshrined. I'm a massive Pocky and Rocky fan. I've got both of them on the Super Nintendo 1 and 2. Huge fan of the game. I've mentioned on my YouTube channel so many times. And I was really looking forward to this. And it is a good game, but it gets to the point where it gets so hard. I mean, I know people have 1cc this game, but I don't think there's any way on hell that I'm going to be able to do that. It is rock hard once you get past level 4. But yeah, it's a good game, but I think I'll still go back to the Super Nintendo version. Still prefer that.
Okay.
Any Vectrex fans out there, I picked up a game called A Crush of Lucifer, which turned up last year. So this is a prototype game that they say it was lost for 40 years, but no one knew of it. It's called A Crush of Lucifer.
Oh, fucking hell, sounds a bit.
Yeah, so what happened with this game? If there's any Vectrex fans out, you probably know of the Facebook page Vectrex Fans Unite. Someone posted something on that Facebook group saying that they'd found some Vectrex games in their dad's loft or something, and he used to work for MB Games, and there was a lot of prototype games in there, and this was one of them, so it never got released. So someone got this and obviously dumped the ROMs for it, and then someone's made a cartridge out of it and a box with a manual and everything. If you want a copy, go to Sean Kelly's website. He's doing them. It's not an expensive game, but it's got the Vectrex overlay in there and everything. And it plays all right, actually. It plays a little bit like Battlezone. Do you remember the Vector game Battlezone? But you've got like an end of level boss at the end, just like this big devil's head that you've got to shoot. You know, like the head in Star Fox, the polygon head.
Yeah.
It's got that at the end that you have to kill. And actually, I was playing today. Yeah, that's the Andros, and I finished it today. And actually, I thought it's not a bad game. Actually, shame it never got released because it plays pretty damn well. So that's a really nice game to have on it.
Shame that sort of Nintendo screwed the Star Fox license somewhat. In recent years, they've done, but I'd say that and F-Zero are two of their biggest sort of like crimes that they haven't actually brought them back properly. I mean, they did Star Fox on the Wii, didn't they? But it used like the motion control stuff.
They did Starlink on the Wii U. They did Starlink on the Switch, didn't they? But I haven't played that.
But F-Zero, they've done nothing with for years.
No.
I think the GameCube was the last F-Zero, wasn't it?
Well, they kind of ruined it for F-Zero because they implemented the courses into Mario Kart 8. Is it 8 or 9? The latest Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So you can play on the F-Zero courses in Mario Kart. So it almost feels like you're playing F-Zero in Mario Kart. So I don't know where they're going. The trouble is with F-Zero, there's been so many clones of that game, like Wipeout over the years, that have copied that
But
kind of thing. But I
Wipeout's
think,
gone now, hasn't it?
yeah, I think they could bring it back with the characters and stuff like that, make it a really cool futuristic world. I think they could do it. I'd love to see F-Zero return. Be awesome. It'd be an awesome game. Absolutely love that. Other two games I've been playing here, Streets of Rage 4, and I'm late to the party. I don't know why I'm late to the party with this game, but fucking hell, what an unbelievable beat 'em up that is. Me and my son played it yesterday and nearly got right to the end and thoroughly enjoyed it. Streets of Rage 4, oh my God. It's just the
You can get a
environment.
reasonable DLC for that as well, for like about £7, I think it is. Probably free
Yeah,
on
well,
Game Pass or whatnot.
I had to get the cart, mate. I'm a collector, so
Yeah.
I got the cart. Brilliant game. It's just the environments. They're all kind of, you can smash like these big iron balls into the other enemies and stuff like that. It's just a cool beat 'em up. Because some beat 'em ups can get a bit monotonous, can't they?
Yeah.
Like Double
Yeah.
Dragon Neon. I don't know if you played Double Dragon Neon on the Switch.
I know Pete's played it when it goes on the 360. You pick up like cassette tapes and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, not a fan of that at all. Streets of Rage 4, I think, is where it's at, isn't it? Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
Oh, the Lego.
I picked this up.
Lego game.
Lego,
it's
yeah.
well good. Yeah, it's wicked. I think it's well good.
Is it? Have you finished it?
No, I'm on I'm only on the second world, but I'm really enjoyed what I played of it.
Yeah, I've just started playing it, and what I've seen of it so far, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying this at the moment, and I don't think I would. I think the last Lego game I played was Indiana Jones on the Wii. That was ages ago.
I played that on the 360. I like that.
Yeah,
Game's my favourite. Undercover. Lego
Undercover. That was an open world one, wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah, I like that one. It was quite. It had some quite good innuendos, sort of 80s sort of style to it. Some of the things that went on. It was quite a good game.
Yeah.
To pick up as well. It's only about a tenner, I think, on the Switch.
Yeah.
It was on the Wii U as well, and the PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've been playing recently. I mean, I haven't been on for so long, but it's just so many games I've played and finished over that time. But yeah, they're the ones I've been playing recently.
Cool,
they'll
man.
come highly recommended. Yeah, really cool.
Nice. Well, let me bang out the news quick then. If you've done your games.
Yeah.
Won't take long. So, for fuck's sake, stupid computer. Right. So, this was interesting. So I saw this trailer pop up on social media, and I thought it was a whole brand new fucking game, and it's actually a mod, and it's Fallout London. And so when I watched the trailer,
I watched a video for this.
It's like 18 minutes worth of gameplay. And I was like, oh, this is a new game. It looks awesome. I can't wait to get this, blah, blah, blah. And then I found out it's actually a mod that's still in development. It's not actually out yet to download. So I've actually joined the Discord, the official Discord group for that this week. And I'm following it very closely because it's all fan made. And when they release it, people who have a PC will be able to download it and play it. If they have Fallout 4. So it looks really, really cool. And this is something I love about the PC community is just modding, because some people, like some of these fan-made mods, are just absolutely insanely good. And watching this London trailer, it was like they got the sounds and everything, and the look and feel of London just down to a T. They really do. So I just wanted to mention that. Cool. So, stupid computer. Right, next is PlayStation Plus. So obviously they got the new tiers coming out very, very soon. But it looks like the launch lineup's going to be pretty good for people that haven't played some really good quality games. So launching on the new PlayStation Plus service will be Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Demon's Souls, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Those are the main ones that have been picked out. That's going to be on the premium tier. along with all the other video games. So I think that's a really strong showing. I know, obviously, like people like us who have already played all those games anyway, I'd be like, yeah, we've already fucking played them. But for people that haven't played them, I think that's a pretty good showing. And the other piece of news that I think is quite interesting is Ubisoft Plus is also coming to PlayStation as part of this PlayStation Plus thing. So at the beginning, it's going to have 27 classic games, but the list is going to grow to 50 Ubisoft titles. And the reason I think that is pretty good value for money is because on the PC, Ubisoft Plus on its own is like £15 a month. So to be getting loads of Ubisoft games as part of your PS Plus Platinum or whatever the fuck it's called, I think is quite cool. So
yeah, I think someone
yeah.
looked into it and found as well that there was something about Assassin's Creed Origins
Oh yeah,
receiving upgraded frame rate and stuff. So that patch
that's
will be
cool.
coming, obviously,
Yeah.
to the consoles at some point. Because at the moment, out of the sort of like the relaunch of Assassin's Creed, that's the only title that hasn't got a 60 FPS
Yeah.
addition to it yet.
Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Norman Reedus has revealed in a new interview that Death Stranding 2 is in the works.
Yeah, let that slip, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think the devs are very happy about that.
Well, no, did you see the jokey picture that Kojima put up? I think it was a day or so later, where he was like, "Come to my room," and then there's a picture of him behind Norman Reedus with like Negan's bat from The Walking Dead,
Oh, right.
Really?
sort of jokingly like lifting it aloft, as if to say like, "Naughty, naughty."
Yeah.
So is that PlayStation exclusive, or is it going to come?
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea.
This could be both at the same time. I don't know, because there's rumours that obviously Sony weren't too happy with the sales of Death Stranding,
Yeah.
but it's still sold pretty well. It's still sold a good amount of copies, so it's not a failure.
Yeah.
I like Death Stranding. I
But
thought it was a good game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Considering
Okay.
everyone bitched
Yeah. So the last piece of news I wanted to mention is there's been a fan-made Halo experience called Halo Zeta, which you can download on PC. It's very resource heavy. It uses the new Unreal 5 engine. So it's just a tech kind of demo to show that off. So I actually downloaded it this morning, and well, I live streamed it, and people watched and were quite impressed. But I also recorded the footage and put it onto our YouTube channel over at 360 Gamercast's YouTube channel. The demo is literally you can walk through it in like 5 minutes. So this is why I managed to, I took my time just walking through it, just soaking in the atmosphere and just everything about it. And it's really impressive actually, because like the attention to detail, the graphics, the lighting, everything is just absolutely stunning. And it's just all the little things that you don't notice. Like you look in a little bush and there's all the bugs flying around and they look really detailed, like the birds flying around. The sound effects, like the music. I mean, they've used the Halo music and it's just like kicks in just the right time and it's super awesome. But it's just, I think like, because graphics have kind of plateaued for a little while, but there's always, but technology is always changing, and like games companies or people are always trying to push them. And I love, this is one of the reasons why I love PCs, because you get to see what people are experimenting on and get to experience some really cool stuff. And this is fan made. This isn't official at all.
Oh yeah, this is something I've taken, because I've seen quite a few videos of like little Unreal Engine 5 demos that just random people have made and put up and look great.
Yeah.
So it's obviously a very easy engine to use and work with. Plus, like you said, these are sort of like individual people just working on this for a laugh. This isn't actually a game company using the engine.
Yeah.
for their products, etc. And you've heard quite recently of quite a few people that have switched their development from 4 to 5.
Yeah, 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 100%.
So
And
hopefully this is a nice, easy to use graphics thing with sort of like less limitations than some of the others have given, and maybe even frees up for you to do more with the memory that you've got.
yeah. See, because that's always the thing about the Unreal Engine is, you know, when like it always gets to a point where it can look better but use less resources. So the engine always ports well to consoles as well. So I think in the next maybe 2, 3, 4 years, we're going to see some really amazing results on the consoles with this engine in some of the future games. I was running this at Ultra on my PC, and my graphics card was literally running at 100% the whole time. It's like I could hear it, like going, this like melting away, just trying to keep the frame rate. But and it looked my jaw was on the floor as I was playing this. Well, it's not playing, it's just walking through this experience, just like how amazing everything looked on this. So it just shows to me that the future is looking very good for gaming in graphical fidelity, to be honest. And it's not just graphics, it's lighting. Lighting is so important, and people do tend to forget about that. And this is why I've always been a big
HDR is to
HDR,
to gaming.
Yeah, and and I know people hate me going on about it, but ray tracing, it is very resource intensive, and I hope that this new engine kind of solves that, because real-time reflections do make a world more believable, makes it more real. And it's just something I love technology, and I love experiencing things like this, and I was just like, oh my god, this is insane. People have got to see this. So yeah, that's my last piece of news. Awesome. Okay. There's a couple. Is there any questions? I'm pretty sure there's some questions. Not many, and then we can end. So, Wes asks, do you class sim racing as gaming?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Mm.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? It is gaming. You got a steering wheel. You're on a video game. You're playing games, baby. Venom wants to know when we're going to do another Wreckfest night, because they did prove quite popular back in, when we were doing them last year. I know it tailed off because we were doing them all the time. Perhaps we should set one up again. What do you guys reckon? Well, I know you won't be on it, Stunty, because you're going to sell your Xbox, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if we'd get the turnout. I'd like to do like a different game, to be honest.
I still play that game actually on the PlayStation. So.
On the Xbox, I was hoping Forza would bring people back, but it didn't. And I've come to the conclusion that I don't think any game, no matter how good it is going to bring back all the old community to game again, because since I've been back from Australia, I've been on the Xbox every day, looking at my friends list as I used to do, and I've got over 200 people on my friends list, and there's normally only about 30 people online, and I'd say 25 of those are watching fucking Netflix. Yeah, so people just don't. I just don't think people like the old community. I don't think they game as much anymore. I really think that's just what's happened. Everyone's got old and boring and don't game anymore. Yeah, so
busy. That's the problem.
Well, there's always time to game, mate. That's what I have to say.
I don't know about that. Not at the moment. For me. There we go.
There's always time for gaming. Always time.
I guess for some people, it's sorry. That's my alarm clock going off. 11 o'clock.
Bedtime,
some
mate.
people, it's just a game, isn't it? They get into, and that's it. They leave it alone for a while. Whereas for me, it's a whole hobby.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I love it. It's different for us, isn't it? We love gaming, all types of gaming.
Yeah, I mean, one day when I finish my game room, which is sort of half done, I want to play old games, so I probably won't play a lot of the new stuff. I want to pull out all my Commodore 64 stuff and go through it all and see what some of these games are like and see
Yeah.
how shit they are compared to.
Paul, you've been saying that for years, dude. When is your game room going to be finished?
Well, it's done, but it's not.
It's done, is it?
Oh, it's built. It's all built. It's all plasterboarded, and there's wiring in there, and all the sockets are in place, but nothing's connected, and it's full up with
No.
eBay stuff at the moment, which doesn't work.
You're another
And can't be-
hoarder.
Well, no, but it's all stuff that's got to go. Once, I mean, if everyone bought
Yeah.
anything, there wouldn't be anything in there. But the trouble is, it's that time of year. It gets a bit.
What you
slow.
should do is you should get a stall at a London Gaming Market. That's the best way to get rid of it.
Oh yeah, so
Mm.
expensive though. They really are. I mean, I looked
What?
into that, the one in London to do, and it was like they wanted 120 quid to do that there. It's like plus
Yeah,
the
but
fuel.
Yeah, but you've got to take into account the time it's going to take you to sell all that and get it in the post. You know, you'll get rid of a lot of it in the morning.
Yeah,
You know.
you've got to spend a lot of time though. You've got to go through it all and the rest of it. It's quite time consuming. I don't have that.
Well, I
See if
know.
it works.
Well, yeah. One
But-
of those things.
All right. Last question then from D Twin. What's your most anticipated games for the remainder of the year? I don't have any.
Only God of War. God of War probably. It's the only one at the moment, but whether that get delayed or not. But they did show something the other day about it, so it's looking good. Like it might come out this year.
I think I don't know. I like
Final
this.
Fantasy Relink.
Okay, yeah, I know that's your type of game. Yeah.
Well, no, I think you'd probably like it as well, Webby. If you
Probably.
like Tales of Arise, then it should
Yeah.
generally be pretty similar to that.
Oh, nice.
And Platinum worked on the combat system on the game as well.
Okay.
It's got quite a few things going for it. Hopefully, we'll get some information on it pretty soon. Well, we should be getting information on quite a few games pretty soon. I mean, the next one, as far as I'm aware, is we could be getting a reveal of the new Star Wars game like this week.
Oh, okay.
The Fallen Order Part 2 or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the second one after was it Fallen Order?
Yeah, Fallen Order. Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah.
That. Really enjoyed that. You'll probably like that, Alex. Fallen Order.
What's that? Yeah, my son keeps going on about it.
Yeah, it's
forget
got
that.
Dark Souls to it, but not.
Yeah.
as full on.
You can pick it up for like 15 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give that a go, mate. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's worth picking up.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably pick up the new COD this year because it's a new Modern Warfare and it'll be the first COD I've bought in years on launch day, I think. So, I think that's probably
The only game I
there's
was
rumours,
looking forward
actually.
to. Go on.
Sorry. But yeah, I'm sure I heard murmurings today. Just again, it's rumours that we might be getting a Gears of War trilogy remaster.
Yeah, I've heard this as well. I'm not interested.
I would be. I love Gears 1 to 3. I think they're fantastic games. And for
but
them to get
it's-
like a full-on remaster, like
Yeah, but would they get proper remasters?
as long as they've kept a lot of the systems that were already in those games, like the unlockables, the mutations, the etc. that you had.
Yeah, but they did such a
That's gonna
great
be the
job with
question.
Master Chief Collection. I'm sure they'll do an amazing job with this as well. Lols.
The only
Yeah, I suppose.
the only issue I have with that though, Darren, will it be on the disc?
Oh right, yeah, true. It'll probably be one of them on the disc, and the rest are all accessed like separately or whatever.
That's the other thing as well, which does my head in at the moment. They don't put anything on the discs anymore. It's fucking pointless even having a disc in it on the Xbox.
Well, that's why the S doesn't even have one.
Well, yeah.
Just talking about Xbox, I just wanted to mention that Game Pass has seen some quite good games this week. I just want to mention a couple. Jurassic World Evolution 2. It's meant to be pretty awesome. Pac-Man Museum. Her Story. And Sniper Elite 5.
That's supposed to be good, actually.
Yeah. So there's a couple of good
As I
games.
said, there's an interesting sort of game for roguelike people on PlayStation at the moment. Called Curse of the Dead Gods. I never played it, but I went round a friend's house and he was playing it. where you
downloaded
play
it,
as a
well,
guy. You just basically like traverse through these sort of like rooms. Each of them's got different things like weapon power ups, etc. It's your typical roguelike. But you build up like a bar at the bottom every time you go through a room, and when the bar fills to the top, you get a curse,
Oh,
which is
okay.
like a possible negative effect on your thing. But you can pick up weapons later on through runs that you can then turn into the gods. Like rather than keep it, you can just donate it to the gods, and it will get rid of a curse.
Oh, okay. That's quite
One of
cool.
the things. So yeah, it's worth a watch.
and we
It's
got
free.
FIFA
It's on PS
22.
Plus.
That was free with PS Plus as well. So.
Mm.
Right, I
Awesome.
need to go, man.
Yeah.
Way past me.
It's well late. So yeah, we're going to end it there. Thank you everyone for coming on. It's been super awesome to have you on, Stunty and Alex. Hope to see you again in the
Good to
near
speak.
future.
Yeah,
sure
good
you-
to chat with you guys.
I'm
Yeah.
amazed your phone batteries lasted this long.
I'll come better prepared next time, but I've
All right.
thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks for inviting us on. It's been
good to have you
far
back.
too long.
Yeah.
Cheers, Darren. Cheers, Paul.
Yeah, no worries.
Awesome. So from me, Mark Webb, Gamertag, Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby360G. Alex.
Nintendo Arcade YouTube channel, Alex. Cheers, guys.
And
Sorry.
number one stunt master.
And Sensei Switch.
So thank you very much. It's been awesome. Don't forget, if you want to subscribe to the Patreon to get a show every week, just go to patreon.com/360gamercast. Head to 360gamercast.com to get all the social media links, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and whatever. It's all there. From all of us here, it's been amazing, and hope to see you again 8:30 p.m. on Twitch next week, Sunday. See you later. Goodbye. Cool.
Oh.
Right.
Was I all right? It's been a while.
That was good, mate. Really awesome. Well
Yeah.
done.
We could have gone for
a bit
hours.
nervous
to
at
get
first.
results.
That's good, mate.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, it was good. It was good to catch up, wasn't it? Just like being in a pub with you guys. Just
Yeah.
having a chat.
Mm.
It was really
it.
good.
But no, I will get my game room done. It will happen. It's just time. It's not. I have to be a bit careful because I'm doing so many other things at the moment, and if I put all my efforts into that, then my missus will probably divorce me. So
Yeah.
be a little bit careful. And then also I've got to get my
Yeah.
van back on the road soon because that needs some work. You know what it's like. Life just takes over at the moment.
Yeah.
Mm.
Especially the summer, you want to get out and about, don't you?
Yeah.
That's right. Mm.
Yeah. No, I mean, I always try and find time to play a game, even if it's just a short one, because I've got so many games laying around. I feel bad if they're not getting played,
Yeah.
Mm.
Right, oh, I fucking bought that, ain't played that yet. Right, come on, let's just get down and play some,
I must
So,
admit, recently because there's not been much to buy. So
I'm not buying
Yeah,
shit, like,
we had a
Switch.
big sort of flurry, didn't we, at the beginning of sort of like
Ooh.
March, April, and now it's kind of petered out for a while, which is good because it
Yeah.
gives people time to catch up. But I always laugh when, obviously, you were saying before, Webby, with people not playing certain games before with the PS Plus deal.
Yeah.
Like that's just it. You'll always know someone that's like, oh yeah, I just picked up this machine, and then they reel off all the games they picked up, and they're like, yeah, I paid like £100 for all of that or whatever.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
think, no,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just like you've got some fucking great games there to play
I
for that
know.
price.
That's the thing, isn't it? You can pick them up so cheap, PS4 games. And it's like
Yeah.
I'm new to the console, so it's like I've just got a 4K telly, and it's like fucking hell, this is wow. You know, what do I need a PS5 for? This is
Yeah, you need to
good.
be a gen behind. You need to be a gen behind. It's perfect then, isn't it? So 'cause then
Yeah,
you
I don't
can
think.
stuff cheap.
Yeah,
I mean, with PlayStation, everything roughly coming out still launches mainly for that anyway, like Japanese games especially,
Yeah.
because they haven't shifted as many systems in their
Mm.
territory of the new consoles. They're obviously still putting out their games on the PS4 as well.
Well, they got to, haven't they? They got to support it because they're fucked otherwise, aren't they? They've got to support the PS4 still because they ain't getting enough PS5s into the houses, I suppose.
Yeah.
No, I think someone posted a story the other day. I think the Xbox sold more consoles than PlayStation at one point in
Yeah.
Japan. The first time in years because they haven't got the stock of the PS5s like in production to obviously give to them. The people are buying Xboxes instead of waiting.
Mm.
Right, I'm going to shoot.
Yeah, I'm going to go
Yes.
because I need to go to bed. So I'll catch you guys later. Cheers.
Bye.
Yeah,
Cheers,
nice
guys.
catching up,
See you
guys.
later.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.